If you've tried to look online to improve at League of Legends, you've probably come across the term fundamentals. But what are the fundamentals of the game? Which ones are important for climbing and improving? And crucially, what does everyone get wrong about them? Today, we're here to answer these questions and rank them all for you. So Nathan, how do we begin?
So let's start with a clear definition of fundamentals. What is it?
Yeah, so I guess this is where it automatically very quickly gets quite complicated because I just don't think there is a clean definition of fundamentals in a game like League of Legends, right? The game is so new. I know it's not that new, but it is new in the context of a craft that needs to be worked on. And the word fundamentals gets thrown around to everything. People say your bloody level up timers are your fundamentals. People say champion mastery is your fundamentals. That is like a whole big topic in and of itself. So it's a very dangerous terminology, but I think at its core, it is a positive one because if you're trying to improve on the fundamentals, generally speaking, I'm thinking of terms like something that is replicable, something that is like built into the game. There's not variance to it. I'm trying to make high quality replicable decisions.
I guess the word like concepts. I think of like we're more so maybe exploring concepts. The fundamentals just sounds cooler, I guess.
Yeah, fundamentals to me anyway, similar to what you're saying there before, it's something that is replicable. It's ever present in the game, regardless of the patches and the numbers. And it's something that I would say is applicable to every level of play and is the foundation, the building blocks of the game itself. And it's interesting because when you think of fundamentals of traditional sport, right, like using basketball, like we think of things such as like how to actually hold the ball and dribble. Like how do you dribble, right, the ball, right? And or tennis, how do you actually hold the racket properly? How do we, there's fundamentals of sport because it's a physical action and these are grounded in like very kind of physical, clear things. It's very clear what's a fundamental and what's not a fundamental. The moment you get into gaming, fundamentals get very complicated because are fundamentals tied to the physical act of like putting my fingers on the keyboard and holding my mouse and that sort of thing? Or is it more related to the execution of the game itself?
I mean, our list that we have come up with, there's nothing on there about holding the keyboard and mouse.
Because I believe that to be impractical. I think if you were to like really give someone, because think about it, fundamentals is something that is meant to be applied. That's at its core. It's something that you can focus on, you can direct your attention to, whether it be in the game or in the post-game review, and hopefully see changes in your play. If we're trying to focus on like your cursor position or like, I don't know, like your posture and these things, like, yeah, sure, there's definitely going to be aspects, but it's not going to be as like physical because the physicality of League of Legends isn't you at your desk. It's the screen, isn't it? It's the physicality of the Rift. The Rift is kind of our pitch where we kind of play.
Is settings a fundamental?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question because when I think of when I was doing back in the day, my research on John Wooden, he would talk a lot about fundamentals starting even before you got onto the court, like literally how you put on your socks, how you tied your shoelaces. We're not even touching the ball yet. And we're getting into the fundamentals of in his mind, the sport is setting up to get onto the court, right? And so like I tend to agree though, in the context of like what this episode is going to be, it's going to be more based about nuts and bolts, improving at the game and getting results. But, I think it is important to differentiate between things that we think are all obvious. Just because you've grown up on a PC and you've mastered holding a keyboard and mouse, does that automatically discount the fact that is it just not a fundamental because we have that, that underlying muscle memory? I don't know. Sometimes I want to be careful about like, for example, let's use something that is more maybe maybe equally controversial, camera control, right? Camera control, if you think about it, is kind of, we may not even talk about it today, but camera control kind of is it a fundamental?
Well, I guess a thought experiment could be like if someone from an uncontacted tribe had to learn League of Legends from scratch with no knowledge of anything, then yeah, those would be the fundamentals. The fundamentals would be, okay, these buttons on this keyboard correspond with abilities in the game, and there's a mind-muscle connection there when I press down and it happens. But I think it is, again, more practical to take that for granted. Okay. Because everyone who plays League of Legends knows what a computer is, and they grew up or at least have operated a PC before. And I think that's just it would just be a waste of time to go backwards a step. You have to enter some weird hypothetical.
Using like sort of the physical sports analogy, that's if they were to do that version of the whole, camera control, mouse, position, keyboard, mouse, the tribe and thought experiment, then it's like, how do your neurons, like how do your nerves work? That's
I see what you mean.
That's the way I when I hear that, that's what I go towards using your analogy.
Well, I think like if I'm just thinking about like throwing a ball, it's gonna
how does your muscle work?
Throwing a ball in real life, it's like I remember in school they used to say, okay, you want to look at where you want to throw, you want to make sure you follow through. So after you release the ball, you keep moving your hand after you throw it. These are kind of fundamentals of like a sport like baseball, maybe. I don't know. But like League of Legends, we're going to talk about resets. So
Yeah, I think it's just more practical.
I agree.
The way the way that this episode is going to be framed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could view fundamentals that way.
yeah, it's interesting.
So I think it's really important to sort of caveat some things. So we are going to make a tier list here. We're going to sort of go through the fundamentals, what we call them, one by one. But there's going to be a lot of variables here. We're going to have to tackle what roles some of these may apply to, what rank. It's not a very cut, plug and play thing that we can just say. So I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge for us here to think about generally where would this go.
Well, okay, so again, this is really interesting because League is made up of 5 different roles, okay? And so you kind of, in a way, have 5 miniature games within the broader game of League of Legends. So what may be a fundamental to one role may not even be applicable to another role, right? Specifically, if you're comparing something like jungle to
Gank execution
to like an AD carry role, right? That they're chalk and cheese at the end of the day. Now, there is going to be some with overlap, but it does get me thinking in other sports, right? Again, I'm just thinking of like the World Cups on at the moment. You have the goalkeeper versus maybe something that a striker may work on. Are there elements or skills that a goalkeeper must develop and prioritize versus maybe what a striker will prioritize? I don't know. I don't play the sport. But my point being is that that's the way I'm viewing this. We've got, or even, okay, well, let's take even another sport that comes to mind, NFL, American football, right? A quarterback is completely different in terms of what they do compared to like a linebacker, right? Or a punter. They're not even working actually on to the point where if you're in NFL teams, they don't have just a head coach. Yes, they have head coaches, but they have specialists in each of the positions, right? And they would probably work on differing fundamentals of the game. So I would actually liken League of Legends more to that of like American football in that sense, because you don't learn the game maybe holistically, or maybe you do when you're young, but when you're pushing, the skills and the fundamentals that we prioritize are going to be kind of different. And this is where, again, we're just pissing away, throwing around this term fundamentals.
Yeah.
And this is where a lot of people get angry. They're saying, Curtis, you're using that term fundamentals in such a broad, shouldn't you just say skills?
Yeah.
And like, because when people think of fundamentals, they think of, again, those real baseline, high level concepts. And this is where, again, the controversy just really comes back to the forefront again and again and again.
So we could do this based on roles. I mean, we're all going to have inputs about our specific roles, mid, jungle, ADC. We'll have our best crack at top lane and support. But I think, the way that we should approach this is just like in general, like climbing in League of Legends. Like what does that look like? But yeah, maybe we will have to get into the weeds with some of these.
Yep.
So should we just start going down here one by one?
Yep, sure. Let's get the tier list up on the screen. We have, how many have we got here, Nathan? Is that like
28?
28 fundamentals we're going to rank. And we're not going to read them all at the start, so feel free to have a read if you want now. But I think we're just going to go in order, right, Nathan?
Yeah. So Champ Mastery. Champion Mastery, something we talk a lot about on this podcast. S tier.
Yeah, I think, we believe that Champion Mastery is at the base of our improvement pyramid, right? For a particular reason. The game is, you play the game through the lens of a champion. You can't avoid it. If you don't know what your champion does, you don't know what its identity is, you don't really understand the abilities, then you're kind of stuck, right?
Yeah.
You can't progress. So in that sense, it is actually a fundamental because every single decision that you make within a game of League of Legends is influenced by the champion that you're playing.
Yeah, and Champion Mastery is almost a lens to view every other fundamental through. Like your trading, your resets, your wave management, your ganking, I'm reading all of these. They're all viewed through the lens of Champ Mastery.
Yep.
You can't do those other things, contrary to what others might say. You can't do them properly without Champ Mastery.
And when if we were to work with a true beginner of the game, right, someone who is pre-level 30, we are going to be talking a lot about picking a champion and learning that champion to the best of your ability, right? Understanding the ranges of that kit. Because embedded within champion mastery, if you've been playing the game for a long time, you're more thinking about that in terms of like really leveling up maybe your matchup understanding, or like how do I kill the nexus, or how do I identify my role within a broader composition. But included under the umbrella of champion mastery is also just the absolute basics of like, what does this ability do? What is the range of that ability, right? Like
how do the abilities work together?
The cast time, the mana cost, like the absolute fundamentals of the kit. So if we were to work with someone who is played 10 games of League of Legends ever, we're going to be like, you're playing Ashe. Okay, this is what Ashe's W does. Ashe is a marksman, right? She is very squishy. She has no mobility. So we need to be, and we'd be talking a lot about Ashe, wouldn't we?
Yeah, you have to. That comes before anything else. There's no point telling someone to like, try and find a level 6 timer when we don't even know what Ashe is or does.
Exactly right.
And it just really speeds up just your learning of all the fundamentals around this. Because people will be saying, well, what happens if they don't even know how much damage a tower does? Like, shouldn't they be learning that? Or how much...
Interesting.
But that... You'll just fumble around with your champion and just learn that sort of passively throughout the game. I mean, think about how we all learned the game.
Yeah.
We picked a champion, we got on the rift, and we just messed around.
Thinking about tower damage and stuff, that actually does take me back to the initial concept of fundamentals. Like maybe minion waves and the idea of a MOBA. The fundamentals, not even of League of Legends, but what is a MOBA? How do you fundamentally kill the enemy nexus? Like, is pressure one of the most baseline things in the game?
Okay, so
Tempo?
I want to actually
Being strong,
take a second here, right? Can we come back to the tier list? I do want to I do want to come back because I think there's a really big
we need to evacuate the tier list.
We need to evacuate the tier list for a little bit. And I do want to have a discussion about, because I remember I had this thought a while ago, and I want to share with you guys. So all of the fundamentals, if you were to go on YouTube and you click on a video, whether it's from some famous content creator, a Skill Caps or a Lois, whoever the hell, us, whatever, you're going to see chippies, you're going to see like resets, wave management, warding, the absolute, like, these are like the archetypal, quote unquote, game fundamentals.
Yep.
But the way I view them is I would put all of those fundamentals in under a category of, like, you could give it like a term. Let's call them climbing fundamentals or something, right?
Okay.
We'll come back to whatever that term is. But then you've also got this sub-layer, which is MOBA fundamentals, or you could call that the game fundamentals, right? And that's things such as, okay, understanding how minion waves work, right? Understanding how towers work, understanding how gold functions in the game.
Objectives. The fact that objectives exist.
Exactly right.
The dragons, they stack and they give you these attributes, and that increases your likelihood of things happening. Yeah.
So these are like things that are so, like, this is just the rules of the game in a way, right?
Yeah.
So you know,
death timers, stuff like that. Yeah.
So then okay, to now let's get a little bit, we're going to get a little bit esoteric here, but would you even say these things we're listing as fundamentals, or are they just the rules of the game, right? If we're playing basketball, understanding how halftime works and what is a foul and what's not a foul, and there's out of bounds and that's not out of bounds, is that a fundamental of the game, or is that just the rules of the game?
Yeah, I classify them as rules.
They're rules. So they're not fundamentals, to be clear.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So now, so then what you've then got, so that what I've just said is that then you have the absolute fundamental, or the base layer of League of Legends is the rules of the game. Once you've got down the rules to a somewhat simple basic level, how a MOBA works, then you go up a layer. It's like, okay, now I know what the rules are. Then you have to kind of establish what are those baseline fundamentals, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
That's how I'm framing this. I'm framing this and this tier list and what you see all the YouTube content creators and stuff for. It is climbing fundamentals.
It is just climbing fundamentals.
Or just role stuff, or concepts. Important concepts that good things happen when you do these concepts well consistently.
Yeah.
As simple as that definition is.
They really are.
They increase your likelihood to killing the enemy nexus if you tick of any of these boxes.
They're good things to do in the game.
Things to do.
Because I think a lot of people who are new to the game would assume that the rules, they might get confused. They might think the rules are the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Like that you got to kill the towers to kill, to kill the towers, you get to the nexus, kill the nexus. Yep. But that's actually nothing to do with the fundamentals. That's just what the game is.
Yep. You go back to Champ Mastery, you lock in your champ, you fumble around, you learn all those rules and intuitively and stuff, and then we're going to be executing.
And for context, we will make another video about the beginner journey at some stage on this YouTube channel. So we're not going to make this whole episode about that. But I think that is a whole other discussion. I do want to have it another later time. I think it's important to clarify that because people are going to say in the comments, what about how the game works, gold and minions? And, I think it's important we got that out of the way. Back to the tier list?
Yeah, let's go back to the tier list. Champion Mastery. I think we've kind of yapped about that enough across the years and here. So Champion Select is our next one.
This is a really interesting one. I mean, this is going to be a good discussion on this one here because I think this one does differ really heavily role to role and then elo and rank. I would say in general, and this is I think I would put it in D tier. And that's not to say that it's like useless or whatever, but
kind of is on the tier list. That is what that means.
But we've got to be brutal. We have to establish everything on this list is very important, but we're just prioritizing things here. So I will put Champ Select in D tier.
What do you mean by Champion Select? Do you mean like your ability to
navigate the Champ Select,
manipulate the draft in your favor? Yes. That's what you mean. Be able to manipulate the draft in your favor, not to understand what's happening in draft or to establish what matchups
to ban
and
pick order.
Yeah, or even like having a champion pool. Like knowing what your blinds are. Is having a good blind pick included in that Champion Select? Because I think that's a very important thing to do to climb.
Great question.
We just yoinked a lot of these from other people's tier lists. to be honest, Champion Select was
just
in
to
most
throw
of
a
them.
spanner in the works there. I do think Champion Pool should be a separate thing, a separate fundamental to Champion Select.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Right, but look, let's just for the sake of this to keep it simple, we will keep Champion Select. Let's just keep it in there as the
Draft.
same.
We call it draft.
You'll call it draft.
That's how I thought it was, like draft. Like picking the best champion for this draft.
Well, okay, so again, Champion Select is a very broad one. So if we're looking at it through the context of the way you're defining it, Nathan, in terms of min-maxing the draft, really trying to manipulate the draft, min-max bans, that sort of thing, then in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not the most important part of the climbing. And I would say relative to everything else here, it is probably in D tier. But in saying that, the skill of being able to be like, I have a lot of AP on my team, or I have a lot of AD on my team, or we have a lot of too much CC or not enough CC, to be able to understand the characteristics of a draft and understand at a baseline level how they interact, I think is a very, very big part of the climbing journey. What do you think, Charles, on that?
Yeah, I think what comes to my mind is just not bombing the draft, I think, is important. Not being the guy to pick the 5th AD champion on your team.
Exactly right.
Not being the one to pick a tank when your support jungle have already picked a tank, not ruining it. And I think so having a baseline level is important, but you don't need to take it.
You don't need to
far.
min-max.
No. So I guess, probably in the context of all these other ones on the screen, I'm happy to put it in D for now.
I think let's
can always move it.
Yeah, exactly.
we
Right.
will
Let's be open
play
to
with
moving
things,
it. So let's put it in D tier for now.
Yeah.
And let's keep an open mind on that one.
This entire podcast, I'm going to be brutal on these fundamentals.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
You guys can maybe play the devil's advocate
Okay.
right to these.
I like draft. But anyway, communication.
Sorry, there is one thing about Champion Select that I want to add here.
Yeah.
Is that I think a big part of Champion Select is managing expectations.
Okay.
So if you see your draft and it is god awful, then you should know just emotionally. It's like, okay, well, I know this game is going to be hard, so I'm not going to overcomplicate it, right? If you've got a comp that has 4 tanks and you do no damage into, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to, and we lose that game. I'm not going to be overly confused and get like super jacked up and super pissed about it because it's just a hard game. But if you didn't know, if you viewed every draft as equally, strong, then that's a very fast way to lose your mind. And in that sense, that's actually if that aspect of draft would instantly bump it up way more for me. Because I think a big part of this whole journey is knowing how not to overcomplicate your learning journey.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess what you're doing there is you're viewing draft as like way bigger picture, like
Yes.
across like a year of solo queue as opposed to one champ select. But if you view it as one champion select, then I think it's still D tier.
Yeah,
one
true,
game, one
true.
champ
So I think we
Yes.
need to view it, all of these as like just in the moment as
Okay.
opposed to like across the
Sure.
journey. But maybe we can reestablish that.
Okay.
Communication.
It's pings and body language.
Yep.
I want to have this.
I put that in D tier.
You don't think
D tier?
You
Yeah.
don't think pings and body language is important?
Not at all.
Okay, so what about when a
Wow.
neutral object? I mean, this aligns with how Nathan's currently been playing the game, honestly, when I've been playing with him. When a dragon is coming up 1 minute from now,
Yeah.
do you not value telling your team your intention to contest or non-contest
I
it?
think plenty of people climb without doing that.
Okay, I can't really argue with that. They kind of do. They kind of do. Yeah, Curtis?
Yeah. I mean, Nathan does it. No.
He's actually not wrong.
He's not wrong. Yeah. I mean, look, objectively, Nathan is correct. There's a lot of people that climb with piss poor or non-existent communication. Yeah. So in the context of fundamentals of the game, it can't be a high-ranked fundamental because it's done so poorly. So like the way we view communication, we view it as a very important skill to develop as an X factor, differentiate yourself from the rest of the the player base.
Differentiates a lot of our members in our program.
Exactly right. So if you being able to communicate can take you from a 52% win rate to a 57% win rate.
It also just highlights your intention. I think it's actually what is like implied by your comms. Because if you're communicating something, it means you're making a fucking decision in the first place.
Yeah.
So that is almost the more important part of comms. Like it's like making the decision and then communicating it, you know?
Which is like a lot of these fundamentals that we're going to talk about. It's like that's the intention part.
Yeah.
I don't think it's D. I think it's C.
I'm also going to agree with C.
I'm happy to put it in C, yeah.
Okay.
I think let's leave it in C for now.
Okay. Because, I think pinging is a skill. It goes without saying. Communicating your intention, not inting your pings. Again, I'm going to always focus on the opposite. Like, don't spam ping.
Yes.
Like,
you can ruin the game.
Not mere pinging deaths. Not assisting your jungler to gank when you're playing Scion into Ornn and, like, your lane's, like, fucked. Like, don't ping
You can
those
gaslight
things.
and ruin your jungler's entire game.
Yes.
From spam pinging them.
Yes. Also, just bad body language, like walking up on a mid wave when like your teammates aren't anywhere nearby, or like gaslighting someone into taking a fight. Like weird stuff can happen with comms. I would rather someone have no comms than bad comms as well.
Great. I love
Yes,
it. I
agreed.
tend to agree. Yeah.
Okay, next up is farming last sit-in. I mean, this has got to be S tier, right? If you can't farm, nothing else really goes well for you in games.
So is this
but
like
then again, going back to, can people win with like having average farm?
Not really, no. Not really. I think farm is really important. Not in like the mechanical sense of like I'm prepping my minions perfectly under my tower and last hitting like Chovy, but more in the mindset of like I value my farm. I'm making decisions around economy. I'm not dropping waves like a loon running around the map. I'm trying to get strong through item spikes. And I think that just is S tier.
Yeah, I'm happy to put in S tier for now. Let's reassess potentially. Maybe it gets dropped to 8. Because the reason I get really uncomfortable with this is because for me, last hitting and trading is kind of hand in hand. Like
and people could think this is a 10 CS per minute type shenanigans.
Yeah, and so like a part of me just feels like it's more the mindset around farming than the actual practical tangible, like, I need to last hit this minion, you know?
People can take it too far as well. Like, I'm referencing your video with AJ that you did recently, which I'll link here, which is like, AJ was playing Ari. I think he had, what CS did he have? Like 7 point something CS. And he was just deploying mid all the time, avoiding sides, knowing when to drop waves, and just winning the goddamn game. Whereas,
that's what AJ's very good at,
Yeah, and obviously that, again, depends on your champion, right? If you're playing a Kale, then you kind of do want to aim for that 10, 11 CS per minute kind of thing.
It's a bit of a complicated one. Let's reassess
I'm happy to put that straight to A. I think you've sort of sold me, Curtis.
I think we should need to rename this one to like almost like knowing when to farm and when not to farm.
I would just call it like resource, you know, it's kind of just like emphasis. It's like my relationship with farming or something, prioritization of farming or something. You know what I mean? It's like how important is farming to you?
Okay, well, that's not
resource
really
management or something.
Resource management.
Yeah, like understanding the importance of resources.
Yeah, understanding the importance of resources. I don't know how to frame that in like an articulate way. Let's just reassess. Let's just park it there for now. Let's come back to that.
Okay.
Fighting.
Fighting kind of, again, goes hand in hand with champ mastery.
Yeah, it does.
But there are principles of fighting.
Like, fighting can't automatically go on S tier for me because you can make the game super easy with man advantages and sort of like more of the macro game. So it can't be S in my mind. It's going to be, I'm putting it in A.
Really?
Yeah.
Nathan, that's because you play a role that can just avoid fights.
Yeah, okay. Again, maybe I'm jungle biased here, but I think
every other bloke in the game has to rock up to their lane and have a fight. You're the only role in the game that can play the whole game without fighting.
Yeah, but you can make fighting very easy for yourself if you're doing a lot of these other fundamentals well. Like, let's say you cancel someone's recall. Doesn't that make the fight really easy?
I agree with Nathan. I don't think it's S. It can't be S because you see people climb with very, very
average fighting.
Very, very average fighting. Yep. So I would tend to, I think it has to be A. It's very important. Like, because in my mind, I'm thinking fighting is obviously there is positioning and stuff, but it's mainly ability usage is the way we're viewing it, right? Ability usage is a big part of it.
Yeah.
You can have subpar ability usage if you're in a good position, right? You rock up to a fight as most champions in the game, you can miss key abilities and still win the fight.
Exactly
if you know what your champ's identity is. You know what your role is in the fight, or you just have an idea of who's strong and who's weak.
But again, a lot of that's to do with fighting, though, in my opinion. Like ability, intention, and whether or not I'm going to front to back this fight or flank this fight. Is that not under the fighting fundamental?
Yeah, it's good. You mean that your interpretation of like
How I fight.
how you fight.
The fighting fundamental is just how you fight, how you play fights. If I'm playing Camille and I'm either going to come from an angle or I'm going to like show myself at the front of the fight, the difference between me knowing how to fight on Camille and not knowing how to fight on the Camille is going to win all these games. I can't win a game fighting
I don't deny that it's very important. I just can't. I just can't put it on the same tier as champion mastery.
Agreed.
Champion mastery is a whole nother fucking ball game.
Wait, so give me an example here because I'm struggling to understand this. How do you win a game of League of Legends by fighting badly?
No, but that's you're using extremist language.
Yeah, we're not fighting
Very
badly.
intentionally
Yeah.
to provoke a response from you.
But remember,
I'm not falling into that trap.
this is where we have to get really brutal.
You're putting words in my mouth. You're saying that you can win games.
Yeah.
You're viewing it on like 0 or 100. Perfect
It's
fighting
either
or terrible fighting.
it's
in the middle.
Yeah, but this is what we were S, A, B,
Yeah.
C. If we're
I would love if this list was just S and D.
yeah, exactly right. It's like it's either gonna, it's the be all and end all or not. So
You know what I fundamentally disagree with? Tier lists in general. It's good or it's bad.
well, Curtis and I are overriding Charlie here, and the fighting is going in A.
Top of A.
Yeah, sure.
Top of A, yeah.
Sure.
The soul, yeah. I'm really already upset.
Okay, well, what we'll say here, really, I think this does depend on role as well. For AD carry, right? I think, and fighting is very, very important. But again, is it as important as champion mastery?
Oh, well, let's see how it weights against the other spells.
Yeah, okay.
Spells.
The other spells.
Yeah.
All right, next one is Ganking. I mean, this is more of just a jungle specific one.
Yeah.
Ganking is not really that important, dude.
I agree.
A lot of people ruin ganks and can win so many games. Ganking is more of an early game thing. When I think about ganking is not like mid game, like ganking or Silang. That's not really ganking. Is literally I finish like my camps or my full clear, my second or third clear, and I'm looking to go and like gank a lane that's like in the lane. I'll put it in B tier. Maybe even C tier.
Don't people ruin games from ganking too much all the time?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's positive. Not because you're viewing it through the lens of like missed opportunities or something. But
Some guy popping fullies, really good economy, really good efficiency, doesn't really know how to gank that well, but has good efficiency. Think of the inverse. Someone that spams ganks all the time. That's
right.
heinous. That's D tier shit.
So inbuilt within the idea of ganking, having good ganking fundamentals is knowing when not to gank. Right?
Yeah, if that said when not to gank, you put it in S.
No, I would move up to A, but I'm still very dead set on it being B again, comparing to all these other fundamentals.
Yeah, but comparing
here.
it to fighting, there's no way it's on the same par as fighting, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah, ganking in jungle's current form just isn't that important.
It's not that important. I agree.
No.
It was very important at certain stages, but yeah, right now you can just play a fighting-oriented scaling like Talon.
Yep.
You can never gank the entire first 15 minutes of the game. You rock up to one team fight, you play that fight well, you will win that game.
Yeah, skirmishing, fighting,
and the mid
objectives, all that's way more important.
Yes, and the mid game is where games are won and lost as a jungle. Like if you have perfect gank execution, I mean, this is the story of my life in terms of the first 8 to 10 minutes. I can easily still lose that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Because
and Nathan
I've
between us have
ruined
lost
the game.
1,000+ games.
So it's clearly
Really good early games, just heinous mid games.
heinous mid game. So early game ganking goes in B.
All right.
Yeah. Think of a jungler who specs heavily into ganking. They're not a good player.
That's right.
And then think of a jungler who specs really heavily into just
Fighting
scrapping.
chant mastery or like good resets or like tempo, It's like, okay,
exactly.
way scarier.
Yeah.
Way
I'd like
scarier.
that to change. I like ganking personally. I
Yeah.
wish I could play my Seju and do level 3 ganks and stuff, but it just doesn't lead to the Nexus exploding.
No, it does not. Absolutely does not. Okay, next up we have jungle tracking. Now, this will be interesting to hear your roles. I'm going to even say from a jungle perspective, I'm going to put this... Okay, so a lot of your decisions as a jungler is based on jungle tracking. Trading sides of the map, whether it's a counter gank. So I would actually put this in terms of in A as a jungler, but I feel like for other roles, this would be lower.
No, I was going to probably say A or B as well, because I think a lot of the other fundamentals, like when you go for a reset, like when you trade, what you do with the wave, all of this is based on knowledge of the enemy jungler a lot of the time, or it's at least a lens you look at it through. So I think if we're looking at it through the fundamentals, like what is more fundamental? Like wave management or jungle tracking? To answer that question, I would ask what comes first. And I think jungle tracking has to come first.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Jungle tracking is actually really important for the jungle role, for bot lane, and for top.
Yeah.
I would say for mid specifically is the outlier here. I don't think it's that important. I think like I would put it in like C or D for mid lane.
Right.
But compare like because you can just pick a side and lean ward, you're fine. You can have no idea where the enemy jungle because you're in the center of the map anyway. You kind of always have adaptability just by nature of being in the middle of the map, right? And the lane is so short that you don't really get punished for kind of, you know?
It depends game to game as well. Like whatever jungler, if you're versing a high threat jungler, it can be an S tier fundamental in that game.
Sure.
And if you're versing a shitty jungler, it can be nothing.
You don't really need to track everyone or whatever early game. Or,
but I want to say for mid lane it would be never S. No, regardless.
No. Okay.
You can literally just not know and have, all right, you know what? I have no clue where the enemy jungler is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to plonk a ward out on that ledge and just lean.
But what if you're versus a Nunu and you're playing like a lane bully? Can you still play the same?
If you have a good ward on a ledge and you're leaning towards that, that's going to take you very far. You can be hard to kill.
It's OP.
I think
Depends on the champ, but it does depend on if you have no mobility versus having some mobility or CC or whatever. But
Sure.
in general, like there's no way it would be S or A for mid. But yes, but I would agree with you guys' assessment. For every other role, it has to be like maybe even A.
I reckon it's going to bump down to B by
and
the
A?
time we go through all these fundamentals.
We can chunk it a B for now.
Let's chuck it in B.
we can
Because
reassess.
I think you can have quite average jungle tracking and still easily win games.
Oh, that's a
in League
good
of
point. It
Legends.
doesn't have to be sophisticated at
No.
all.
Yeah.
You don't need to know what camp they're on.
No.
You just need to know generally what direction they're going.
It's maybe just what side of the map they're on.
yeah.
That's really
literally just cut the map in half. I mean, top side or
Top
their
of
bot
the
side. Exactly right.
You can do very just blasé about
Which crab
this.
did they get?
Yeah.
Yep. You don't even know where they started these days because no one leashes.
No.
You kind of have to just assume a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's more like playing around the lack of information of where the jungler is more than tracking them perfectly.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know where. It's also, by the way, tracking your own jungler. That's
Yes,
a big part of it.
that's a big part of it.
I value that way more than tracking the enemy jungler. If I'm trading around where my jungler is, that's way more practical.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be a separate fundamental, like tracking enemy jungler and then your own jungler. I would, especially in the mid game where your jungler is, and yeah, even early game is actually more important than the enemy jungler.
Well, I would say tracking your jungler would, for me, has to be A then.
Yeah.
Right? If we're including that.
split that out.
If we, let's include that here. Jungle tracking is also including awareness of your own jungler. All
right, we'll put it
and put
as
that in A. It has to be an A because that influences every decision of all roles.
The jungler's the X factor at the end of the day
Yes.
of games. Jungle is the information differentiation.
And the reason why it's more important to track your own jungler is because you permanently have vision of them, right? The enemy jungler is going to spend the majority of the game in Fog of War, whereas your jungler, you can tell not only where they are, but which of their camps are up or down. So you can make very intentional decisions.
It's interesting because I view the jungler as like the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
It's like it is the ball. It's like we're playing football, soccer. It's the ball. That's where the action is going to be. Yeah. Everyone's gravitating towards the ball, and there's the ball. The ball's rolling down the river. That's where it is. The shit's going on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you never get past the ball, you can't play the game.
Yeah, no, true. And that's actually a really healthy mindset. It's actually a metaphor I want to park in our memory, guys, because when we do make that beginner video, I think like that's a really healthy way of viewing the game because I think people they view them as the ball and the jungler is like a compliment or like, I don't know what the fuck they think of it. It's not the ball. They think they're the ball, but
Yeah,
it's actually
like
the
the
other way
main
around.
character syndrome type thing, or they think that the jungler should play towards
Exactly
them
right.
instead of adapting to the jungler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
All right, knowledge of other champions.
Yeah.
So I have been challenger multiple seasons, and I have not played half the roster of the game. But do I know a lot of champions in general, what they do? Yes.
I would say you know very well what all of the champions in the entire game do, Nathan Mott. You have a deep understanding of every champion's reference points through your 14 years of being obsessed with this video game.
Yeah. A test and learn, watching a lot of VOD. So
Living on the Rift.
given that, is knowledge of other champions also going to A tier with fighting? Because you can't really fight well, because we say League is a game of anticipation of a reaction without knowing what the enemy champion is going to do.
I'm putting this in S tier personally. I'm just going to throw that out there because I think if you don't know what your counterparts or what other champs in the game do, you cannot make a single accurate decision or anything good. Nothing good can happen because your learning from that game is only ever going to be, oh, that champ does that. Move on to the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
The grid has to be yes. It is the game, right?
And I think about coaching sessions where sometimes a coaching session is literally, oh, you just didn't know what that champion did. Like, there's not really any, this is what it does. There's not really reviewing these fights. There's no point.
It's really funny that, like, if you think of League as a fighting game, like UFC or something, right? It's like you versus another, I'm smashing the desk. Yeah. It's you versus another champion or you versus another person. You have to know what they can do.
Correct.
If you don't know what they can do, it's like nothing.
What if you're versus this guy and he whips out a hammer in the fight? It's like, holy shit, like, I wasn't prepared for this.
It's so embedded into the game. Like, it has to be. There's no other way.
Yeah.
But UFC, you don't know if they can have a chainsaw, a knife, like what are they going to do? Yeah. You have a pretty good idea of what they can do,
Yeah, and again, it doesn't have to be like insane. It helps if it's insane.
Yes.
It very
There's
much
levels
does,
to it.
because you can get in the enemy's head if you know what they want. If you know what they want more than they know what they want, then it's an end of review. But you kind of need to know Mundo throws a little cleaver, and that Mundo's E has a healing mechanic, and all these little things.
Blitzcrank Q,
you got to know if they're a tanky champion or a squishy champion or ranged or melee.
If they have mobility or don't.
Yeah. It goes a long way.
It is SDR.
For sure.
All right, level 1 fundamentals, getting creative with little, this is where people call like cheese and stuff, right?
Well, also just kind of knowing how your matchup goes level 1, knowing where to ward level 1, I would say, from a bot lane perspective. I would put this in C or D, personally.
Yeah, I would say D. I would not put, let's exclude, can we agree to exclude matchup, how the matchup's going to play out? I think literally just on the rift,
we'll put that in the matchup section.
Yeah, that's in the matchup knowledge,
Level 1. So this is just like, what you do level 1.
Yes, you're mastering the first minute of the game.
I mean, let's reference a solo queue game that we all played together literally last night, right? Where Curtis was my support. I was playing Renekton top. We were talking. I said, Curtis, come to my lane level 1 and fight this guy. He was playing Bard support. He had a Seraphine. I was Renekton into Riven. We both had Ignite. I'm like, this matchup's a clusterfuck, right? Curtis can come top and influence it. He gets halfway to top, tells me he's coming, has a mental breakdown, gets confused, thinks I'm his AD carry or something, starts running bot, and I'm already fighting the Riven. I get chunked to half HP level 1. I have to step off the wave, use my potion. I dumps to that matchup. Solo kill, win the game, right? So what does that mean? How important is level 1?
It can't be that important.
How often does a level 1 kill impact the game?
Exactly right. First blood or whatever it is. Yeah.
That literally happened to me yesterday. I was versing the rank 1 player on our server, right?
Yeah.
Rank. I walk into the bush level 1. I get pincered, burn my flash, lose both my pots. I still win the lane.
Yeah.
How's that possible? So it can't be that. It has to be at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Now, I agree. So let's put it into D tier.
D tier.
But level 1 for a jungler is really important, not because of the moments like in the game or how it will impact the game, but it's more of like a mental state or a headspace of like a jungler. Like if they get invaded or whatever, or they will just like mentally bomb the game or just like, just get really angry or start blaming things and their whole, patterns ruined. So we actually have a level 1 fundamentals course in the Jungle Academy because we were getting so many questions about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions.
So even though, it's not really, practically that important for just your general journey as a jungler, it is actually important to know how level 1 plays out and sort of, what you could do and, how to deal with invades
which buff
and
you
stuff.
start. Because that's level 1, like your game plan. What's your approach to the match? And not in terms of win con assessment, but in terms of like which buff do you hit first?
Yeah.
Is that important? Do you care about that?
No, it's more about the invade thing and then, what to do with how to defend wave and stuff. So it is important for a jungler, but more of a mindset thing and just people's overall journey, just having more of a fun experience in the game. Because at the end of the day, it's not fun to not know what to do when you get level 1 invade as a jungler.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to just yap at my own solo queue. It's happened to me recently playing Fiddle.
Yeah.
Because Fiddle smites the blue buff early because you want to get drain damage off because it does damage based on their missing HP. So I smite the blue buff early. Graves dashes over the wall, smites the blue away from me, and proceeds to just run me around the map for 20 minutes. Very boring.
All these fundamentals are sort of tied to that. Like, you can't really do much as a jungler. You can't really do many.
You can't play the game.
You can't play the game. No. But as a laner, you can die, get first blood, you rock up, you still got a minion wave, you still get an experience, you're still, fine.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like the pistol round in Counter-Strike to bring up our favorite game, Counter-Strike. Does it matter? Never really decides the game, does it?
But it's really momentum and stuff.
But it feels good. It's a mindset thing. It's absolutely a vibe thing,
It's a vibe.
All right.
We got level up timers next.
So knowing when you hit knowing which minion you hit level 2 on and how to play around that, knowing which minion you hit 3 and level 6. Those are the 3 level up timers I would kind of want to consider. I guess 4 and 5 are kind of important, but mostly 2, 3, and 6.
Well, it's definitely not D.
No.
Okay, it's not D. We know that. It's okay. So for top lane,
Yeah.
it's pretty big.
I think
right?
bot lane as well. Support. It's very fucking
Yeah,
big.
it can be big in mid as well. Getting level 2 and bruising a level 2. It can dictate your level 2. How well you play that level 2 can dictate your entire pre-first base.
Yep.
It can, right? You take a really good trade off a level up. Sometimes the lane is irrecoverable on the other side, right?
I think it sets the pace for the whole thing. If you intentionally hit level 2 before your opponent, then leverage that leads you into getting a favorable wave
Exactly
state
right.
and then getting a good base off.
Now saying it like that, if we think about it, if you know how, if you know how to use your level up timer, and you get a really good trade, you get control over the wave. That has a snowball effect on amount of prio, maybe a ward that you couldn't have got before, information on the enemy jungler you might potentially get. The reset now is determined by you, not the enemy. Following that logic, it has to be a B or above, no?
I think the mindset of playing 4 levels is also so big because it means you're valuing points and abilities, which is a very big part of the game. So yeah, I was thinking,
even as a jungler, knowing that I'm going to get 6 off this camp, and how that's going to influence your next decision. If you're playing a champion like Nocturne, for example, you're going to get 6 off this camp.
Yeah.
That's going to completely change.
Or even Renekton, I'm in the side lane, I'm level 10. I really want level 11 for my rank 2 ulti so I can impact this next fight.
Well, for a jungler, it's actually every level is important. If you're 1 camp away from a level, you really want to get that camp, then get on the map, and then fight. That's because, levels, you get so much health, you get, base stats. Yeah. It's just really good to do. So
I think A. I think A above jungle tracking.
I think it goes top of B.
I think you're top of B for now. Let's reassess.
I keep losing. What the f is going on? Is my view of the game warped?
No, because I think what you're doing, Charles, you think everything's just really important.
Oh, okay.
You're blowing your load too early again, Charles.
God damn it.
I'm being very conservative. I'll move some of these up, but I'm being brutal. That's why I said at the beginning, I'm going to be brutal here.
No comment. Map awareness. Looking at the map. Should you set a little timer to look at the map every 10 seconds?
Yeah,
that was the old school
advice. The oven.
Set the oven.
The oven will beep and then
look at the map. Like a canary. Boop. Look at the map.
So in all seriousness, map awareness is the game, right?
Yeah.
If you don't look at the minimap, you have no clue, right? League is an information-based game.
All the fundamentals, everything is all tied really to map awareness, isn't
Everything is tied to map awareness. And
if it wasn't, it'd be like a horror game. I'd be playing the Rift and then someone appears on my screen.
It'd be jump scares everywhere. It'd be jump scares 24/7. Yeah, it would be a horror movie.
Yeah.
So I think if we think about what map awareness influences, it influences how you trade, when you trade, how you path, when you recall, if you say yes to if you roam, if you don't roam. It influences basically every single decision in your entire game, right? So by following that logic, it has to be S.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Here's one. What about the people that have climbed to this diamond with locked camera?
Well, that's not map awareness.
That's not map awareness,
That's panning the camera. Map awareness means looking at the minimap.
Yeah, exactly.
I place a premium on simply looking at the portraits on the minimap. There's
Exactly
a lot
right.
of
Just count to 10,
information
all right? Where is everyone on the map?
I would love to hear the comment section or know of anyone that has literally just looked at their character and climbed to Emerald or Diamond in League of Legends. Is that possible?
I don't think that's possible. That's nuts.
Yeah, what the hell?
That is
how could you do that? How could you make any decision?
I thought you
wouldn't even know when the objectives spawn by that logic. How would you know?
No, you could look at the timer in the game.
You wouldn't know which towers had been taken.
Well, again, I'm not saying we don't view this as extremes. I'm saying you can have quite
very extreme
average map. I think of a Karthus player. I've had people in my program, Karthus, but they in fairness, they did have a competitive gaming background, so they played fights really well. But they literally just AFK farmed on spawn on their camps. But I guess they did have map awareness because they did know when to R here and there.
Okay, but this also implies that this person has the most heavily specialized talent tree of any MMO player in the world where they're fully capped one spell and then everything else is dog shit. Yeah, we know that you can get relatively okay doing that, but
You could do that with anything, though.
yeah, you could, yeah.
So I just think that that's also a very jungle-specific thing as well, by the way. Like, there are no other role in the game that you could have zero map awareness, right? A top laner is going to perma-die or never know when to move or how to move. A mid laner is just going to be perma-stuck and reacting to everything and die.
Yeah.
And support will just be completely fucking lost.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think it goes in S though.
really?
Yeah, I think it would go in A. I think that you can remember. I'm not saying A is completely terrible.
A is not
map
S,
awareness.
so it is terrible. That's what,
Yeah,
that's what it
right.
means.
I
actually kind of agree with Nathan, honestly. I think that other things are more important.
Can we just take a second on this and really just think a bit bigger picture than League of Legends here, right? We play Counter-Strike, right? And that's another game where there's a mini-map and you have to look at the mini-map.
It's a great point.
Okay. I don't know how you could play that game without looking at the mini-map.
That's super interesting because I barely fucking look at it and I'm pretty bad at the game. But I don't know. I think if I could just shoot everyone in the head, I'd get pretty far.
Okay.
See whatever's on your screen.
Whatever's on my screen.
You're doing what's on your screen.
Yeah, when I see people who are really good at Counter-Strike, like, yes, there's obviously invisible stuff, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about CS, but like, aim, dude, that's like S. Aim would be Z in Counter-Strike. Because Counter-Strike is one of those games where like they have that one skill which kind of precedes everything.
Sure.
Right? I don't know what that would be in League of Legends, but
That's what I'm saying. So that's a game, right? Counter-Strike's a game that is way less strategic than League of Legends, right?
I don't know.
By nature.
Sure, maybe.
It's more it's more like fighting, in that sense.
Yeah.
Right. So the way I view it is that I don't know. I personally value that information very highly, right? Like,
I think you're again talking from a mid lane perspective. As a top laner, can you play Darius? And you can literally just only look at what's on your screen, the matchup. Go 7-0, right? Not a single jungler gank. You don't even care.
Yeah, fuck. Curtis, Nathan's fully convinced me. I think it might even be B. There are 80 carries and top laners, very specifically, who are like proper, like blind as bats, dude. Playing the game like, well, they can't see anything. And they're just very good at clicking their character, very good at playing fights. They have really good laning. They overspec in these things. And I think it's actually disingenuous to put it S because it doesn't represent the average League of Legends player.
No, it doesn't.
The average League of Legends player climbs with piss poor map awareness.
true. I'm thinking of like a Yasuo player like Marvin's from the Midland Academy. Didn't even know the minimap existed, actually.
There you go.
So that's actually true when I think about anecdotally.
Think about even some of the players on our server who are like challenger 80 carries.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty bad at the map.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you are right. It's not S.
not S.
You are right. You are spot on.
I think it's top of B.
I'm happy to put it in top of B.
No, there's no. I don't believe. I think
I mean, it's actually, you can't jungle track without the map, so that's silly. We have to put it in A.
it has to be an A.
You can't jungle track without the
So
map.
okay, when I think about it, right? Like,
Okay.
okay, can someone, right? Okay, what's going to get someone more results in League of Legends? Using a level up timer or being able to look at the mini map?
Level
Think
up
about
timer, maybe.
You think level up timer?
Yeah,
Honestly, maybe.
I'm thinking about the Darius again. That's going 7-0.
I'm just thinking top lane and bot lane because that's what I'm playing recently. Genuinely speaking, if I'm at a coaching session and they're not abusing their level up timers, I'm going to bring them up before the map.
All right, map awareness is going in B. Can you put it in B for me, Charles?
I'm happy to be open-minded about that. I want to come back to it.
It's very murky waters
I just
on
think
this fundamentals
it's
tier
so
list.
champion dependent.
It is. That's why this tier list is impossible.
Because map awareness on a champion
impossible.
like Yasuo, it doesn't matter as much because you can die a few times and you can just outplay people and you're going to just fuck shit up. Or like a Darius, if you're really, really good at your matchups and you know how to like kill people, then it doesn't really matter or whatever. Like there are certain champions where I think like it doesn't matter. But then there are other champions where it matters a lot.
Yeah, it does.
But remember, I'm not putting that in D tier. I'm putting it in B tier.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why Champion Mastery probably deserves a Z tier because everything else depends on that. Like you actually decide which fundamentals based on your champion's reference points.
Yeah, it's a lens.
What you spec
for
into.
sure. Yeah, all right, interesting.
All right. Nathan's winning, I think.
Yeah, he is.
I'm
He's
dominating this.
Nathan's switched on.
Well, because I know. I've just reviewed so many games. I know what the average player's League of Legends experience is.
We've reviewed games.
We haven't either. We
No,
haven't.
we've never reviewed a game.
No, because
We're new to coaching.
I've gone to like the bar, the pub with these guys, you know, after and like actually sat down.
Me and Curtis, we live on high horses in ivory towers.
We live in our little castles.
Yeah. Never interacting with the general public.
I'm like, you know, the politicians that go out to like, you know, kiss babies and stuff like that. And like,
yeah,
you
you're
know,
like Winston Churchill taking the subway in Darkest Hour.
Exactly right. Movie reference of the day.
Banger scene. All right.
Matchup understanding?
Matchup understanding.
Nathan knows all about matchups. Let's let Nathan talk about this.
Matchup understanding for me would go in A.
Okay.
I
You know what this
believe it's
reminds me
quite
of? Just
important.
I want to jab Nathan here. We were when Nathan was learning top lane in 2024. We would drill in the practice in like lobby ones. Did you remember? You would play Darius and I would play Mundo and I would win all the time. I just needed to say that. I don't know. It was just funny.
okay.
Nathan's level of matchup
That's the level of
understanding.
matchup understanding.
Okay.
He would lose Darius and Mundo.
I'm thinking about this. So would you say a diamond player or an emerald player plays their matchup perfectly every game?
No, hell no.
Do they need to do that to the climb?
Again, this is
I
where
love the extremist
I hate
language.
the extremes
It's
because
so
it's
cool.
not the reality.
So it
You
can't
don't
be
need to
S.
have, exactly. You don't need to have perfect matchup understanding.
No.
But you need to have a baseline level of like, okay, high level is this, what is this, the baseline interactions in this matchup, okay? So like if we're talking about like baseline interactions, because this goes hand in hand with knowledge of other champions.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's a bit loaded here, right? Because to get clear, I guess knowledge of other champions is like you just know their kit. Matchup understanding is like you actually understand the strategy that you should be.
Well, it's your counterpart as well. Knowledge of other champions means like your own teammates, the other four champs in the game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like that we have a few now, so we can kind of compare it. We've got some benchmarks, so it makes it a bit easier. So it's definitely higher than communication. So we know it's not in C.
Agreed.
Okay, we know that, but it's lower than. Okay, it has to be it's higher than ganking, right? Like ganking's not.
Yes, it is higher than
Yeah, I would think it should be right next to level up timers. Personally, I think that's correct.
Yeah, it has to go somewhere in B, right?
Well, okay. The question is to use not a super extreme, but like, can you kind of play your matchups all kind of the same way and get moderate success?
Well, this is where we've got to be careful because I think top lane might be the exception here, right? As in, like, okay, top lane has very, very kind of unique champ interactions, and matchup understanding can make or break your lanes, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we think anecdotally about our journeys learning when we did top lane, right? When we were playing Urgot, you had to know in certain scenarios what you could do, or you're playing when you were doing the Jack's Guide or whatever, like. It did massively change what you could or couldn't do matchup to matchup. Or Garen, how can I go do this level 1? Could I not? So like, you've got to be a little bit careful here. Like none of us play top lane right now. A part of me instinctually kind of feels that top lane, it is actually very important.
Well, let's do it for our roles then. Let's just, and then we can maybe make it
So
an
for AD
average.
carry, what about bot lane matchups? Where would you, is it important as like map awareness?
I'd probably put it C.
Yep.
You'd put it C.
Probably.
Okay.
Or
I
low
think that
B,
makes sense.
low B to C. I think for support, I would pump it up to like mid to high B.
Okay.
So matchup understanding in terms of
Like jungle's like the jungle v jungle. Like you,
I would say it's different to jungle v jungle. It's not. We're not probably
yeah. So it's like you're playing Jarvan and you see a Graves on the enemy team. How does that influence your behavior versus like a Lilia or a Karthus?
I would say would be in low C to high D.
Low C.
Yes.
Okay. Mid lane. Yeah, I mean, you can have very generic hypotheses. Like, just keep the wave in a relatively neutral state. Kind of, as long as you understand what sort of trade your champion wants to do. It's like, I'm a Syndra, I want to, time Qs with last hits, or a Victor, time E's with last. Like that can get you very far if you do that well, right? I have seen people in, Emerald with very limited matchup understanding. They might know some really well, but like a lot of them they may not know, and they just apply general frameworks. I'm happy to put it B for now.
In top lane, speaking as the de facto top laner of the group currently, there are a lot of minigame champions. And matchup knowledge is really important. Like if you know, okay, if I'm versing Yorick, I need to put a premium on not dodging his E. I need to punish him pre-level 6 because he's loaded into the Maiden. If I'm versing Alawi, I need to put a focus on dodging that E. I need to try and destroy tentacles. I need to say no to ganks post 6. There's so many matchup things for top lane.
Well, now you're saying you're mentioning those minigame champs, I think in mid, the minigame champs, you're versing a Yasuo.
Yeah.
If you play to shove into a Yasuo, that can like ruin your lane.
Ruin the game.
You can ruin the game,
Yeah.
You get out your wave screwed, you take a really bad level 2 trade, you're fucked.
Conversely, if I'm really good at versing, let's say Gangplank, I know how to play the barrel minigame. I can win that game because of that understanding.
True,
of
because if we frame it under the guise of like, if you spec into it,
Yeah.
how far will it get you like a lot of results? It does.
I think it does for
I think it
laners,
actually does for laners. It can get you very far for top and mid specifically.
Yeah.
I think it's very limited as an AD carry.
I think support.
Even support's limited.
No, they can do a lot of support.
Yeah, they can do a lot,
Really?
I think if you're like a ranged support player, for
Ranged support,
example,
yeah.
and you understand the limits of the enemy champions in the matchup Super 2v2, and you know when you're strong and when they're strong, you can do a lot.
True.
Think about it. You know if you can push. You know if you can not push. You know if you can like trade.
It's saying the way you framed it, Charles, it's 100% A.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not. There's no way it's not an A. It's not S, obviously, but it's definitely not B.
Well, for a jungler, it's not. If you have perfect gank execution, your matchup it doesn't matter.
Well, because
So
matchup
it's definitely
understanding
higher.
is fighting in my mind, though.
Yeah.
In a way, kind of like because if you have the knowledge of
Yeah.
what you need to do, the actual execution of it is so low. It's not that complicated, right? Most people, if you know I win this level 1, I need to try and play around this
Yeah.
ability because you're anticipating everything, right? Like if you know that you're trying to dodge Yorick E's,
Yeah.
the fact that you're focusing your attention on it is at least 75% of the difficulty, right?
Yeah, but I would say some of the Bruiser v Bruiser matchups have quite a bit of execution to them.
True.
Like if I'm playing Camille into Darius and I know to navigate at one of the push outs, I need to like buffer his E or I need to like R his E on an all in. There's some
Yeah, but if that is if your attention is focused on that and you know that you need to do that, I don't think it's as hard as people think it is.
okay, yeah, it's yeah.
Because when I work with people, but most people, when they know, oh, fuck, that's what I got to do, they can mechanically execute upon it. They only struggle mechanically when they don't know where to direct their attention most. Most people are much better mechanically than they think.
Yeah, I would just say top lane has more of the execution burden than other roles.
True. I would agree.
Maybe.
Trading-wise, for sure.
Okay, so based on my analysis, averaging this out, bottom of A.
Yeah, sure.
And by the way, just pointing this out, I did say A at the beginning of this segment as well.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that for now. I might personally bump it up a little bit more above jungle tracking later
I think it's
on.
more important than jungle.
Oh,
Trade.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I'll say that's more representative.
Wow. It's so hard. It's the hardest
Okay,
I've ever done.
moving on.
What does this one say?
Mindset.
Midnight? Mindset.
So people can climb with terrible mindsets.
Yep.
They can.
That's it.
Most people do.
End of
D
story.
tier.
It has to be DTL.
D.
It has to be DTL.
Guys, this is the Broken by Concept podcast, the #1 League of Legends educational and motivational podcast.
And that's the edge that people who join our programs and listen to this podcast, that's how they dominate.
Agreed,
And
it's the
climb the
edge.
rift faster than everyone else.
We have seen people with atrocious mindsets to the game.
Okay,
And
let's be more accurate about this, right? So these people with poor mindsets, where do they get? They get to basically wherever their gaming background,
Yeah,
their
pure
talent,
plateau, yeah.
they plateau fast. They cannot get past that point with a bad mindset. So I think if we're talking about climbing, we need to talk about. I don't give a fuck whether you're Iron or Challenger. I'm thinking of like, what is this person capable of? What is their baseline? Someone's starting off and getting to Platinum immediately because they have a shit mindset, but they have a competent gaming background. Why does that mean that mindset's not important? They're basically Iron.
Okay, so I think that you're overemphasizing the whole get to platinum automatically. They did learn the game and they are doing a bunch of fundamentals and concepts to get to platinum, no matter what their gaming background is. They have learned those things. So
Yeah, it was just easier.
It's easier, but they still had to put in the work and the reps. You don't automatically get to your plateau.
I wouldn't even call it work at that point, though. If you're coming in with a bad mindset and you're just kind of smashing
You're
your
sort
head
of
against it.
autopilot.
Yeah, it's just what you're capable of. I don't think that person's actually climbed the solo ladder. They've just started. They've reached their baseline. So I think mindset is fundamental to overcoming a plateau, and overcoming a plateau is my definition of climbing, so it cannot be D.
All right, that makes sense. I think we got to be careful because I think Nathan, me and you, we were both on the same wavelength at the start, thinking like, oh, we look at some Master Plus players who have shocking relationships with the game.
Yep.
And the fact that they are in Master Plus, which is in the top 1%, is like, okay, surely that's testament to
Yeah, but
it
that's
not being
relationship
important.
with the game, not mindset. I would say that they have quite a competitive mindset and they're quite harsh on themselves and others, and that is in some ways positive.
Yeah, I guess mindset can be viewed. Yeah, but mindset shouldn't be like
very
sunshine and
broad term.
rainbows type thing. Yeah, it's a very broad
It's
term.
not like I'm a happy-go-lucky gamer who's going to say GG well played at the end of every match. It's like I want to fucking dominate my opponent, you know? Like that's mindset.
Yeah.
A winning mentality.
Okay, yeah. So look at
growth mindset even.
Not even growth mindset, just there's like a lot of different good mindsets you can pluck, right? There's a growth mindset, competitive mindset, I'm a winner mentality, I'm a good gamer. Like some have negative or positive aspects, but having a mindset that serves you is important.
Yeah. So let's not get this confused with like toxicity. So for example, the Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan. Does Michael Jordan have a really good mindset? Because a lot of his teammates hated him.
Yep. I mean, what about
Dennis
Rodman?
Results.
Dennis Rodman didn't have a very good relationship with the game of basketball, didn't really try his hardest in practice at all, but fucking was good.
Yeah.
Very good. Had a good process when it mattered.
So he did have a good mindset, right?
He had a great mindset because he knew what worked for him. Think of the players we've coached in our competitive careers. A lot of those players didn't necessarily have incredible like philosophies on improvement or mindsets, and they could kill some nexuses.
That's my point, though. That's why I don't think it's that high.
No, but they had a mindset that served.
Charles still says
That's what
it's
I'm
a good
saying.
mindset.
I'm still saying they had a mindset that served
mindset.
them. A competitive mindset, mostly.
A competitive mindset.
They were harsh on themselves.
So can you tell me?
Yeah.
What? Because I'm just confused here. What does D like when you're thinking about mindset, Charles?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start. Where would you put it, Charlie? Where do you want it?
It sounds like you want it in S.
It sounds like you want it higher than. You definitely want it higher than D. So where do you want it?
I would put it middle of B.
Middle of B. Okay,
Underneath level up timers.
So what that basically means is that you're saying that the quality or the type of mindset that you have is more important than knowing your level up timers.
No, it's less important, but it's more important than ganking.
It's more
important than
ganking.
communication.
So, because mindset. So, can you? Sorry, I'm just bamboozled here for a second. So,
it's a very nebulous term.
it is a nebulous term. So, how are you defining it? Because let's just establish how we defining it. I don't care what the community. How we define
mindset is your approach to playing the game of League of Legends and the headspace that you're in when it comes to playing, improving, and performing.
Okay.
What headspace are you in?
What headspace?
If I'm piss fighting around the Rift, blasting music, playing without caring at all, then that's not a good mindset.
Yeah,
it's a bad mindset. But if you're like toxic, you're like yelling at your jungler, but then
It's still a mindset.
But then you're also like, I want to crush my opponent. My ego is huge. That's a.
I see what you mean.
A functional mindset.
I think that makes sense. I think that's reasonable. I think B is reasonable.
It goes in top of A for me.
You've changed to top of A from D.
Yes.
Did my speech really resonate with you that much? I should be a politician. That's fantastic. All right. Well, Curtis, you have to be the decider.
Yeah.
You're
so you said middle of B. You say top of A.
Because I don't think it's more important than level up timers. I think it was underneath level up timers.
Yeah, because if you think you can have an average mindset. It doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be perfect.
If you don't know when you hit level 2, you're dead.
Yeah.
But based on Charlie's definition,
can you have a great mindset?
You're not gonna if you're wanting to learn the concept of level up timers or like focus on map pointers or jungle tracking, you have to have some sort of intention or some mindset.
We've worked with many clients who have a great mindset and they're stuck at a rank. Look at their behavior. Right?
Mindset goes back down to bottom of D tier for me.
Think about it.
Immediately. How?
Yeah, immediately. Curtis just did it.
No, but they would have a misguided understanding of what a good mindset is.
No, I don't think so.
No, they might have a good mindset towards improvement, but they would have a bad mindset towards winning games.
My personal...
I care about winning. It's about winning.
So for me personally, I'm just saying straight off the bat, I think it is top of C.
Fine, I'll compromise.
Yeah, top of
That's
C.
what I think.
I'm going with top of C as well.
And just my reasoning is that, yes, if you have an amazing mindset, will it give you an edge? Yes. If you have a terrible mindset, is it going to ruin your journey? Yes. But most people are just going to have an average mindset and it's fine. It's good enough. Yeah. It's not going to, and I think it's an edge thing. I think it really is an edge thing. And I think like communication, if you're amazing at communication, you can pop off. I think it's the same. I think it's just one of those things.
Love it.
We'll come back to it.
That's an exciting. Alrighty then.
Neutral objectives.
I'll just spelling of neutral here. Neutral.
So the game, if there was no neutral objectives in the game of League of Legends, the game wouldn't really be League of Legends, would it? It's a very important. A lot of our decision making is dictated by neutral objectives.
Then I'm going to gank you here, IRL. there are many people who I see that are in Diamond or and above and never communicate intention around dragons, don't even know when they're coming up, piss fart around, just good at fighting and just win the game.
Okay, then it goes in just above B, below level up timers.
I just think it's so low. I think neutral objectives are so low.
It's just another edge thing.
I think it's an edge thing, dude.
Yeah, if we're talking about practicality, it's just another thing where it's just most people climb
C.
without it.
It's no-brainer C. It has to be C because think about it. What's more important, level up timers and map awareness?
Curtis, think of how many learning objectives we would set around neutrals. Why do we do that if it's a C tier fundamental?
Because it's really important.
Because
Nathan's like flip-flopping on scales.
Again, I think that's okay. It is something that
Are we giving
okay?
bad
No,
learning
Charles.
objectives?
Charles, think about it like this.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, neutral objectives, it's this thing that people have zero. They spec zero into it, so it's like a quick win. You know,
So
what
we're
I mean?
trying to get it to like reasonable.
Yeah. Most people operate with it.
Yeah, because when we give learning objectives around neutral objectives, it's because they ruined the game because they didn't even like make a decision around a neutral.
Most people, right? If you think about it, their journey is comprised of getting it better at everything else but awareness and neutral objectives, right? They've got champion mastery, they get good at trading, they get good at ability usage, and they don't even know that dragon's coming up, right? And that's the thing that is going to be push them to the next rank, right? So I just my intuition is that it's C.
above mindset.
Yeah, it's the top of C. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
I think that's good as well.
Neutral objectives.
Neutral objectives.
Neutral objectives.
Okay.
Let's go roll by roll.
Yeah, go right. Let's start with top.
Does top laners need to care about neutrals? They have to care about Nash. Nash is pretty
some
important.
champions' entire identity is based on going to neutrals, like Renekton,
And others are
Aatrox,
completely agnostic,
and
though.
split push and just ignore it.
It's not nearly as important. What's above it?
Level up timers,
Yeah.
map awareness.
No, that's not that important. You can be very sloppy around the neutrals.
I
I don't
it's
think
a-
we need to do the other roles. Fuck it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Or
I was gonna say it.
I mean,
Perfect.
jungle, right? Jungle probably is a little bit more important.
Well, people think the jungler's job is to get the dragon, or else you need to leave the game.
But how
You
many
need to be-
times
you need
if
to
you're
be-
going to review just don't emphasize the dragon?
Yeah,
Stop,
that's right, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Stop doing the goddamn dragon.
If we just focus on gank execution,
camped.
understand exactly what a good
Getting
and bad
strong.
gank is, getting strong. It's
the game will win itself.
You'll take.
Because think about it, if you're strong and you know how to fight, you have champion mastery.
Yep. That overrides it.
It overrides it instantly.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe League of Legends isn't a game of neutral objectives. It's a game of matchup understanding, is what I'm learning so far
Yeah.
this episode.
It's very interesting.
Numbers advantage.
Ooh, was one of my favorite. Red light, green light, numbers advantages.
So what is that, Nathan? What is that?
So the red light, green light is when your team is in base, you shouldn't be moving past your jungle.
I don't think it's that rigid, is it?
Yeah, that's a really practical thing that a lot of people can apply to their games and they're going to get pretty far.
Basically, what it says is like League of Legends is fundamentally a game of numbers. If you have more people attending a fight than the enemy, your likelihood of winning that fight goes up exponentially. And if you have less numbers, you will lose.
And a lot of people think that that's really difficult to get to, but most of League is that because of the simple principle of there's minion waves in the game. Someone needs to respond to a minion wave. If someone shoves a minion wave first, they have priority, you have a numbers advantage.
Yep, and people have to go back to base to spend their gold, and junglers have to do their camps.
Now, if minion waves came every 2 minutes, this wouldn't be that important. But the fact that minions come every 30 seconds, then you have a lot of windows to have numbers advantages in League of Legends.
Yeah, if there were no neutrals, we would always be playing Ground War on Skid Row or something,
That's
just
right.
running around
I
shooting
call
each
it
other.
Fortnite League of Legends.
So numbers advantage to me is very similar to map awareness, right? They go hand in hand.
they do.
Because if you don't know how to look at the map, you don't even know if there's a numbers advantage for the most part, right? So fundamentally, it's either going to go top of B right next to map awareness, or it's even going a little bit higher.
I would say bottom of A.
Yeah, I think it goes above jungle tracking, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind
Definitely.
of the same thing as jungle tracking, really, isn't
Yes,
it? It's
it
just
is.
numbers advantage just adds more variables.
Yes.
Yep.
So I think it's more important.
It gets you a fantastic way in League of Legends, a big, big way.
Now, let's compare the pair, though, because we have fighting above numbers advantages. Is that odd? What's more important, fighting with numbers or being good at the fights?
No, because
Being good
even,
at fights, for
even
sure.
in those fights, you need to execute them
Yeah, because the
well
question
with
is, do
numbers
people
advantage.
climb fighting numbers disadvantage fights? Absolutely, they
No.
do.
Yeah.
They do.
Oh, sorry, they do, yeah.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
All right.
That was quick.
Good. Playing with intensity. This is kind of tied with mindset. I didn't really know this was there.
Yeah.
How important is playing with intensity? Can you be a low intensity gamer?
Most I mean, that is the default. That's what everyone is in League of Legends. They're playing with low intensity, right?
I don't know about this, Nathan. I don't know if I agree with that.
You think that's not the default as a gamer?
I think that there is like massive levels to this that are like hidden. And I think that there's a lot of players who you may not think they're playing with intensity, but they do, in spurts.
Yeah, they do. There's also such thing as like negative intensity. The amount of people who play with negative intensity who are like in the lower ranks is quite large, I would say.
So if we think about it, can you just play thousands of games with very low intensity and climb?
Well,
is that possible?
No, because they have gone through stints of high intensity.
Exactly right.
If you play 20% of your games in high intensity and 80% autopilot, you can get pretty far in League of Legends. Over thousands of
because you can 50% win rate in low intensity games.
Yes.
And climb in
and the muscle memory. You still are developing muscle memory even in low intensity
But if you have
games.
zero intensity in every single game, you just can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
There's no learning. So I would say it goes very similar to Mindset.
Doesn't it just go exactly like Mindset is?
It's bang on around in there. But I would say it's higher though, because it's higher than Mindset, because Mindset in my mind is like, that was all you're talking about, like your competitiveness and shit. Like, I don't think you can play with intensity and not
just like
really
locking
just
in.
be average. You know, lock in every now and then with intensity. And
what about the people that climb quite high, listening to music and talking to their friends on Discord? Can they play with intensity while doing that?
I think they do play with their own version of intensity though. Like I view intensity very simply as like, I care about this. Like I care about winning this.
Really?
I don't like losing this trade. Losing this trade annoys me, right? That is like a version of intensity, right? Because if you think about it, you can't be low in how can you be low intensity and care?
We actually had a podcast on this, which I'll link here, about intensity. You said the opposite.
What did I say?
We said that you can care a lot about the result of a game and play with low intensity, and you can care very little about the result of a game and play with high intensity.
Care a lot because you're just in a. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, because you're not tied to the result of the game.
But I'm thinking more in micro interactions. Like I'm thinking more in terms of like someone who is playing with intensity, right? You can have bursts of intensity. Like I'm thinking of like a talented, because when we're thinking of like, I'm assuming what you're thinking of is like some talented gamer, right? Who's come from Dota. They're playing League of Legends. They've got to Emerald 1 or Diamond 4, but they're piss fighting around. They're listening to music. They're on Discord. They're alt tabbing. That person, in a way, I guess, speaking out loud, they could just have so much muscle memory and understanding of MOBAs that they can just fucking win
It's
games.
not playing with intensity, dude.
That is not really playing with intensity, is it? Yeah. So saying it out loud, you are right. So
is it lower? No, I think it's fine where it is.
I think it's fine where it is. I was thinking, does it have to be higher? Definitely not higher. Okay. No. I'm happy with that.
It's another edge.
It's an edge.
We need to put like a little E on some of these. Think ones that are edges. Or I mean, they're just the ones lower down, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. I think we should end with that. I do want to talk a little bit more about that.
Resets, Mr. Mott. Going back to base, pressing B, recalling, basing.
Well, that is a big part of all our coaching sessions, right? Like resetting, overstaying on the map. So it resets in lane phase, resets in like, the mid game. It's a huge part of getting results in League of Legends.
If someone is resetting correctly, that implies so much about their understanding of the game. Because I think resetting, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not really something you wrote to learn. It's something you have to understand why you're resetting. You wouldn't just reset for no reason, would you?
No.
You have to reset for something.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of game knowledge to...
Or you have to have some justification for your base.
No, there has to be I think you can have a very limited understanding and use general rules of thumbs.
Yeah, but resetting itself isn't the choice. You reset for something every time.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so big. It unlocks so many other fundamentals. And it also keeps you out of trouble. Good resets. It's so much of the game, in my opinion, knowing when to base.
Okay. So what gets you more results in League of Legends? Map awareness or resets?
Probably
map awareness.
Resets.
Wow, this is hard. This one's really hard.
I think resets are very important because it leads to consistency. And it implies like you kind of just, you know what you're doing. You know, you're staying out of trouble. If you base, it means you are no longer able to die. It means you are no longer able to do something
Charles,
bad.
We look at a lot of people in like platinum
Yeah.
with pretty bad resets.
That's
Right? I mean,
Sure.
is that fair? Would you say that's a fair assessment? You see people in platinum with very average resets. They
Yeah.
overstay, miss windows. They're not thinking about their reset that proactively.
And when people fix their resets, they get a lot of results.
But they got to platinum.
Yeah, but again, I don't care about what visible rank they are as much. I'm thinking about that player's journey and their improvement. And
But you have to consider what rank they've got because if we're talking fundamentals of the game. If you can get to platinum with very average resets.
but you can get platinum in a lot of ways.
I'm putting resets just below map awareness.
Below map awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Good.
The reason I would agree, Charles, is because if you're aware of where like your teammates are, right, and you're aware of like all this information, that you're going to make better quality decisions.
We talk about consistency over a long
over
period
long
of time.
periods of
It'll give
game.
you more bang for buck.
You're going to get
than
more bang for
resets.
buck for sure.
But you can spend your gold.
Because think about it, right? If you
But again, we're not saying people are not spending their gold. It's just B
They're
tier.
not. If it's a B, they're not resetting. They're
So it's a
never-
D tier, basically.
You guys think someone can get to platinum without going back to base, and they only recall when they die. I've actually seen that quite a bit, by the way. Imagine this: little Timmy playing League of Legends with the B key unbound. They could only spend their gold when they
That's
die.
a good YouTube video.
Isn't that working? Isn't that how ARAM works? I have not played an ARAM.
That's
But I think
correct.
in ARAMs you don't
you can't
reset.
base.
Yeah,
Can't
you have
base.
to die to spend your gold. Many people play League of Legends with that mindset. It's quite interesting.
I mean, you see people, I've unironically seen many VODs where people are getting upwards of 3,000 to 3,500 gold in their inventory,
yeah, that's right.
right? So, you know,
I myself do this on occasion.
so if that's possible and they're climbing, you know, that it can't be that. It can't
I
be
love
super-
resets. I love resets. I think resets are
It's an
cool.
edge, though,
It's an edge,
Charles.
yeah.
It's an edge.
But they're so cool.
Yeah,
They're
are
very cool.
It's the game.
I feel attacked. When I juice a good reset, I just know I won the game.
game winning. Yeah,
I know
you
I
can
won
win
the
a
game.
game. Correct.
Imagine this, Nathan. Recall, run bot, bam, triple kill. What's the first word in that sentence?
Yeah, but that's such a. All the other things are
loaded.
more important.
I mean, but if you don't know how to look at the map, you come back, you reset. Here we go. Now what?
Yeah.
Just run bot
or
over the
like
bed.
matchup understanding and all that.
Yeah,
fine,
it's
whatever.
B. It's below B, just below map
Am
awareness.
I losing again?
Oh yeah, I think
No,
you're
you-
like 1 for 13 or something right now.
1 for
Charles.
13. Christ.
Roaming.
So I just did an episode with 610 linked here, and he thinks roaming is the worst thing in League of Legends. He's rank 19 in Europe West as a mid lane Echo OTP.
Yeah, roaming is not really a massive part of the game anymore, specifically because roaming, I'm assuming we're talking probably about two main roles. We're talking about mid and support, right? Are probably the two big victims or culprits of roaming.
Junglers can't roam. They've nowhere to roam from.
Yeah, exactly right. And top laners don't really roam and AD carries don't roam. So yeah, look, mid lane, talking from a mid laner's perspective, roaming nowadays with you got the quest, right? So you're kind of incentivized to stay in lane.
Yep.
Minion waves are coming goddamn fast. You know, you can lose plates and lose a lot of gold. Yeah, more often than not, unless the roam is like really, really juicy, you're not roaming.
You don't need to roam as a support either. Like, obviously, certain champions incentivize roaming more, but for the vast majority of champions, until like high master tier,
Yes.
you can kind of just
You could literally
bing
never
chill in bot
roam
lane.
a single game. You can. I speak from mid lanes, but you can literally not roam a single time, right? And probably get to Master Plus.
So I'm looking at just above ganking or below gank execution.
No, ganking is more fundamental to junglers than roaming is to laners. 100%. It has to go below, ganking.
Below
yeah.
ganking for sure. I was even thinking.
I think it goes like
Below
C.
neutral.
Yeah, I was going to go
Blair
C.
below neutral
I was going to go
objectives.
C. I was going to go below neutrals. Yes, correct.
Wait. What about intensity and mindset? I think it has to go below mindset then.
What's more important, playing with intensity
Guys,
or roaming?
it goes literally fucking there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It goes there.
Correct. Good call.
It goes there.
Wow.
Below mindset.
Roaming is just not it. Again, it's kind of tied to the ganking side of things. The game is. Do we need to move ganking? I think we might need to move ganking.
No, it's good. Level up time.
Well, ganking is just so role specific.
Yeah, I mean, even for jungle, like resetting for your item spikes and stuff like that is more important a lot of the time than ganking. Absolutely.
No, I mean lower ganking.
Oh, lower ganking? No, gank execution.
Yeah, but inside ganking was included like what makes a bad game.
Oh yeah, not over ganking.
Not over ganking.
You can ruin games.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
It
Saying
is
no to a
important.
gank.
Yeah. See, that is,
All right.
Runes and items.
Clip it and ship it. Runes. Taking the optimal runes and items. Again, are we going to say taking fine runes and items or taking the best runes and items, min-maxing when to take bone
You
plating?
got to take the proper runes and items, right?
How far do you take that?
Right? I mean, like you were saying, you can't grief it.
Yeah.
You can't go Conqueror on Nami,
Okay,
right? Yeah, I mean, you could. You could. But that's going to cost you a lot. It's going to
Yeah.
cost you a lot, right?
I would say it probably goes in A, but a lot of people have got this pretty down pat. All the websites and stuff like that, like it's fine.
We're not talking about ease of execution. We're just talking about the concept
The
itself,
importance.
right?
Yeah,
The
how
significance
important
of
is the
it.
fundamental?
It is very important. I would put it in A. Has to be an A.
Oh, now whereabouts in A? Is it above fighting?
I think it's above fighting.
Yeah.
I
top
think
of
it's
A.
above fighting.
Yeah.
Guys, again, how bad is bad though? It has to be based on the extent. Like, if I'm playing Nami and I take Electrocute or Airy or Comet, is that really going to be the difference maker? Obviously, Airy's really good on Nami, but if I take Comet and I play to the identity of that rune and I play aggressively in lane, and secondly, maybe I don't take Bone Plating against the Nautilus and I just take Inspo, is that really going to be the end of the world? I think as long as you take a reasonable setup, doesn't even have to be good, just medium reasonable. I think
Okay,
it'll be fine.
so I think below matchup understanding then,
I think it's B.
I think it's B. Well,
I would rather know where the jungler is and
but
have
you're talking
slightly
but
suboptimal items.
that's just a shit example, Charles. Nami
Right,
can
you
fucking
said
do
Nami
nothing.
first. You said Conquer and Nami. I just took your
so
example.
Nami is a shocking example. I'm taking
Okay.
accountability for that.
Who else? Who
if you
else?
take Comet on Yasuo, that's
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah, exactly right. But you could take Fleet Footwork, Conqueror, Lethal Tempo, Press the Attack, maybe even Grasp, and I think you'd be
Sure,
fine.
but you could also take, Electrocute. Or you could take, you know what I mean? There's a
yeah, so
take Aftershock.
just don't take the worst rune in the game.
So, but that's important. You got to know what to take.
So you think the knowing when to take,
And we're talking items. You could build Kraken or Bork, sure, but like you can't build an Archangels.
no, but you can build a fine item. You could build Yuntal. You could build PD.
There's just no way it's B. It is the fundamental of the game.
I just don't think you have to build perfect itemization.
Yeah, I never said that, but you do need to, like, you have
Doesn't
to have an
runes
idea.
and items and matchup understanding go hand in hand together? Because that's how you change your runes and items. And that can really influence those things.
It's a part of it. But again, I think matchup understanding is way more important than which items you build. I think how you conduct yourself in the matchup.
it is.
I mean,
That is
it's such a, like, again, this is why it's so hard to have this conversation, because you're viewing it in terms of like generalities. I'm viewing it like the knowledge. It's like, if I'm never played League of Legends before,
Yeah.
and I don't know what the items do,
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Are you saying knowledge of what the
That's
items
what it
do?
is. We're talking knowledge of runes and items, aren't we?
I thought it's which runes and items do I build in each
If
game.
I'm learning League of Legends,
That's
and
just the rules of the game. That's the rules of the game. It's like what
rules
does
of the game is not what the items do, though. I don't think that's
Yeah,
rules of the game.
knowing what the items do. That's a rule.
No,
It is the rule of
The
the
rule. No, the
Actually, no, it's not, because knowing what the champions do isn't a
exactly
rule.
right. The rules of the game is like that there are items that you can buy.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And right?
Don't move it. Don't touch my list. Well, where were you going to put it?
I was going to put it in S.
Yeah, I think it needs to go in S. That's what I'm
saying.
I think
It's
it's
delusional.
I think it needs to
What
go
are you
there.
talking about?
It is.
I completely disagree because, okay, I just had a different understanding. I thought you meant like changing runes based on the game and building the most
I don't
optimal
know.
thing.
I'm just thinking like knowledge of what items and runes do. That knowledge
well,
is
then
a
we just wrote the card wrong, so blame Nathan.
that it has to be because I mean that's the
Because when you write runes and items, it's like, do I build Banshees or do I build Void Staff? You know, is that S tier? Knowing
because the way we've been going about all these things, right? We've been resets, okay? Understanding how, like, to what, like, do we know what a reset is, right? Like, that you can be rough around the, you can
Yeah.
be,
we need to avoid going into the pits of hell in your mind. By the way, you can go too deep with it. I think genuinely, let's just stop thinking about the implications of that.
So just very simply, I've never played League of Legends before.
Yep.
Do I need build AP or AD?
Yep, old mate has the Zonyas. What does that do?
Exactly right.
Like, that's quite important.
Exactly right. Very, very, very important.
My champion is a crit user. I want to stack crit. Crit caps at 100%. I want to build 4 crit items to get 100%.
Huge.
Yep. All right, fair.
Very important.
Side laning.
Also, not only is it important, but it is a quick win. Such a quick
Huge
win.
win.
Such a quick win.
I have HP and durability that enables me to fight in a particular way or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
my champ has AP scalings. I build
Yes.
AP, my abilities do more damage.
Exactly right.
Side laning, from the aspect of all roles, it would go in.
Nathan's malfunctioned.
Malfunctioned.
How many players?
today-
No. How many players are good at side laning? Have you ever seen anyone in the game who's good at side laning?
Yeah, I mean, like, let's just keep it simple. So side laning is an advanced concept, okay? Right? It is something that will differentiate you. It is something that will, if refined, it will allow you to translate leads, right? So I think that there's no way it is above things like neutral objectives.
Yeah,
right?
I think it goes there.
Yes,
See here.
somewhere in there.
I think it goes right there. It's similar to neutral objective in its importance. Like, a lot of people just have very minor understanding of side laning. They might go collect a wave here and there. They'll split push at the wrong time. But we also have sinking pressure as well. So it's
side
not
laning's-
sinking pressure.
Side lane is an interesting one though for top lane because again, champion specifics. If you're playing an Alawi, actually no. Do you really need? No, you don't actually need to have a sophisticated understanding, right? Because just get strong, be good at fighting, get to your items, and just slam pressure, and you're gonna provide value to your team.
Yep.
Right. We've all seen those Tryndamere reviews in like Silver, where the Tryndamere just like perma sits
Bonking the
inside.
towers,
It's
yeah.
not sinking pressure. It's just hitting it, clicking on the tower and hitting it, and they win the game. So yeah, it has to be C.
Spacing. Another advanced concept.
How important is space? I think it's S tier.
S tier spacing.
No, I'm joking. I'm completely joking. It's not S
No,
tier.
so it can't be fighting. So if you can play your matchup perfectly, and if you understand your matchup, how much do you have to space?
Can we
really
just
well?
change the order here and put trading before this? Like we've got trading down the bottom. Like we can't talk about spacing without talking about trading.
Okay, yeah.
So let's talk about trading first, please.
Yep.
Trading.
Trading goes in A, next to fighting. Because trading becomes above matchups. You have to know how your champion trades before you can then apply it to the matchup. And also more fundamentals around trading. Trading around last hits, trading around cooldowns. Those things are more important than matchup specifics.
A part of me feels like I'm just that farming and last hitting has just been staring at me in the dome, and I'm like really thinking about trading and like you can if you're good at trading, but your farming is average.
Yeah, I'd prefer to be good at trading. Yeah,
You'd prefer to be good at trading, wouldn't you? So that I don't know. I'm just scared of that. Maybe we'll come back to it. I'd definitely put trading atop of A. Right, trading is the game of League of Legends.
Yes.
It is a fighting trading game.
Yep.
And all the fundamentals you just mentioned there, Charles, timing trade with last hits, right? Knowing how your champion takes a trade.
short trade versus long trade.
You know, trading in accordance to your rune and shit. Like that shit is so important. So it has to be at minimum top of A. It might even be S.
I think it's S. I think it's S. I think if you rock up to your laning phase and you know how to trade, you're so far of the way there. That's so much of the game. So many of the reviews from top lane and from AD carry and support, it's like, how does my champ trade? Not only does that, but how does anyone trade in League of Legends, regardless of what champ I'm playing?
True.
What is a good and bad trade?
Yeah, because I think about it as if you load into the game as any champion of the game, and if you know what a good trade with your champion looks like, that gets you very far.
It does. Go to our Jinxie case study. When Tyler One was coaching him, like that, he just
didn't know how to trade.
Didn't trade.
Yeah,
Doesn't even
true.
looks like super
True,
scared.
and he was
running away.
last hitting.
Yeah.
and it didn't mean fucking anything.
Yes.
It has to. Yeah, so
All right, last hitting is actually going down.
it's going down. It
I think
has
it
to
goes
go
down
down.
to like
I did know that was
Yeah.
going to go down. Remember I said that was in A?
All right.
Just a note.
Can
Nathan's
someone
right.
hold Nathan accountable in the comments, please? Because he's just revising his opinion. Really, just out of nowhere.
Wait, so
No, put trading up to S.
Yes, yeah.
I think it goes. Oh shit! I don't know. I don't know where that goes. Like there,
Somewhere
maybe.
in there.
Yeah, trading.
Yeah. Probably is above runes and items.
Yeah.
Probably.
Is it more important to trade on your champ and not what the other champs do? I think you have to know what the other champs do, like that.
Yeah. Go again. I think about the Jinxie case study. He didn't know what anything.
He didn't know what Leona did in that case.
Obliterated. That was his entire.
You can't. Yeah, that makes
Yep,
sense.
this is really good.
Yep.
Fantastic list.
Okay, so then we can talk about spacing, right? So spacing is just is kind of just like an element of trading, isn't it? Right? But you don't need to be perfect at spacing. There's so many champions in the game where you can be very inelegant.
Yes.
And kind of just like, I'm just thinking of like, you know, an Annie. I just run up, press my E, press my stun. I'm going to take a good trade there, nearly regardless of the champion. I'm playing Hui, and if I land my Q onto someone and I press my E, like I'm probably I can be rough around the edges. I see very, very, very average spacing in most ELO brackets, and they get far. So it's definitely below
B or C.
It's definitely below everything in A.
Yeah.
It's at minimum. So it can't be an A. Okay. It's definitely above everything else in B though. I think it's top of B. I think it is top of B.
Ooh, interesting. No way, dude.
Really?
No, it's I think it's in between resets and level up timers.
No, but you can't use a level up timer without spacing. Right? If you're keeping
Yeah, you can't.
If you're in
that would be
Narnia-
hitting level 2 and then not doing it.
What about the importance of resets? Charles, you love resets.
I do love resets.
And you play AD carry.
But
and you
spacing
space.
is way more important than
well,
resets.
spacing is more important to an auto attack based champion than it is to
Think
an
about even
ability-based
top lane,
champion.
right? If you're playing like, you know, Camille or in any melee, if you don't know how to space,
And that's why I would beat you as Mundo into Darius.
Yeah, that's
Just
right.
pure
I
spacing.
would space you.
Okay.
it has to be top of
I
B.
don't know. Is it an edge? Is it an edge thing though? Would you rather have good map awareness or be good at spacing?
Wait, can we just okay?
I hate this fundamental.
I'm
by the
not
way.
going to. I'm trying not to go into the depths of hell here, Charles. But just think about it.
Yeah.
The game is spacing. The game of League of Legends is spacing. If you think about it, I'm rocking up into a lane. They have a certain set amount of range. I have a certain set amount of range. If I don't know how to navigate those range differentials, then,
then
everything is fucked.
Yeah, so like the farming last hit. So I'm thinking it needs to be going in then A just above farming last hit in then.
The second you miss space playing a range champion into a melee champion, your game is over. You have ended the
Yes,
game.
exactly right.
But is that spacing or is that threat assessment? Because we have threat assessment written down there as well. Like in bot lane, if I misspace Leona's E and I get E'd in the head, then I'm fucked. But isn't that just threat assessment?
Because spacing, I would just say spacing and trading go hand in hand.
We need to put threat assessment and spacing in the exact same spot, in my opinion.
No, they're different, Charles. There is overlap, but they're different. Because threat assessment's like the mindset, like what beats you, what kills you.
So spacing is just the clicking component of it.
Is the micro exactly right? Spacing is is like the actual raw expression of
All right, well then
knowledge.
using your own stage terminology, that has to be the bottom of D tier then. Because if you have great threat assessment but average spacing, then it'll be fine because League is a game of anticipation.
True.
Spacing is completely unimportant. In fact, I've never seen someone with that good spacing outside of like three players in the world.
No, but again, there has to be a degree of spacing though, right? Because right, let's say
90% anticipation though.
let's say you know that there's a thing that can kill you.
Yeah.
Right? So let's use a practical example. Let's say you're playing
Yep.
like Jinxie, you're playing Jin into Leona.
Yep.
And you don't know how to properly space, right? You know Leona's scary. Someone said Leona kills you and you should be fucking scared of Leona.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to space the Leona combo at all, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to just be sitting so far back that you're not going to be able to touch the wave.
But isn't that just knowledge of other champions and threat assessment? Like if you know what Leona's E looks like and you know the range of it, I feel like having spacing in its own category is just dumb.
It is. It's
Like,
a bit of a dumb fundamental because it's very loaded.
Knowledge of other champions is what you've just described. If you knew the range of Leona's E, you have to space it perfectly. I can be like this far away from it, I can be this far away from it. It's not going to make or break the game, is
It
it?
needs to be within like a specific range, though.
Just don't get domed by it, and you'll be fine.
I think we delete spacing from our list.
Agreed. I think it's
Thank
too.
God.
It's too complicated.
That's one
We'll
for
leave it.
my category then.
Threat assessment.
So then threat assessment now would go in A tier, right? But
Yeah,
the knowledge.
threat assessment is really important. It's tied to fighting and matchup understanding a lot of the time.
I think
as
it's
well.
top of A.
Yeah.
You need to know what you kill, what you can kill, and what can kill you.
Yes.
Right? If you don't know that, then how are you going to possibly be able to take good trades, good fights, or anything?
But doesn't that mean that it's above fighting then?
Yeah, I think it's above fighting. It's at the top. It's the game.
They're kind of the same bloody thing, in my opinion, honestly.
Well, again, I love that you mentioned the Jinxie episode, actually, because we saw a player that was new to League of Legends. And if we were to prioritize, where should they be? They need to go in there and die to that Leona so they can understand why they need to be scared of Leona.
What Leona
does
does,
Leona do?
as well as what does she do, and what's the range, and
Exactly
the
right.
space in, and
So
I don't know.
How important? Why are we discussing a new player to League of Legends? Why is that? What's the relevance of that?
Because it's helping me calibrate the fundamentals of the game. Like, what would I prioritize? What are the things that they need to understand to play League of Legends? Is what I'm thinking.
That's a definition of fundamentals that wasn't really laid out in the beginning, and I don't think anyone shares though. Like, no one views the fundamentals of League of Legends as like it was like my shit example of fucking aliens or a tribe that's never touched a computer. It's not practical.
No, that's not. No, you were saying if someone's never touched the computer, right?
Yeah.
Whereby that's like we're talking about how to hold a mouse.
This
and
is
keyboard.
on the Rift.
On the
how
Rift,
many times?
He's already holding the mouse.
Yeah,
and
but so
keyboard.
should average Joe Blow work on their threat assessment?
No, but even for us, how many
in
times have
18?
I heard, I didn't know I could have died to that? Like that, you actually missed.
I'm not
threat
disagreeing
assessment.
about the placement of threat assessment. I'm just confused as to why we're bringing
Threat
up Jinxie
assessments
so much.
constantly. People need to
So for Jinxie
adjust.
and for the average player,
Yes,
it's just
for
A tier.
a
It's just fucking
diamond,
important.
even a diamond player is like
Right.
constantly recapping.
I just want to make sure everyone's
threat
not getting
assessment.
confused. Like, this isn't like the
I mean,
beginner
I'm looking.
tier list.
I've gone through this with. I mean, I'm looking at this right now. If you think of Jinxie, this is exactly the order and the priority of what Jinxie should focus on. Think about it.
But what about the average platinum player? Should they focus on these things, or does it just get specific?
This is just the order of just like.
We've entered hell again.
This is the ultimate list.
We will talk about that at the end. Let's ask that question at the end.
All right.
Sinking pressure.
Let me just fuck this off.
Yeah, spacing's gone.
Sinking pressure.
Pressure.
Does anyone know how to sink pressure? I
So
suppose the
this
question
is
again.
another edge one, right?
An edge.
I think it goes right behind side laning, honestly.
Yeah, plenty of people are climbing without doing that well. Yeah, those things are sort of.
I mean, you think it's more important than playing with intensity?
No.
No, it's not. I think
it might even be D. Could it
Wait,
be
you just
D?
moved playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
with
Lord.
intensity.
I can't read. How about reading? Is that a good fundamental?
That's a great fundamental, Charles.
So sinking pressure goes the bottom. Communication, roaming.
yeah, that's where I would. That's where I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
I think so
I'm
as
thinking
well.
that as well.
Sinking pressure.
Because there are like we do low elo reviews where it's like, okay, your team is on the map. Like, it doesn't have to be sophisticated, but like your team is now in base, and it'd be good to be doing something with them and right at a very basic level versus not doing something with them.
Yeah, but you can also just not, and you can miss windows. It's fine.
And you can still win.
Yeah.
True. Yep, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty accurate.
It's
where
like
it
a
is.
ball metaphor. It's like a sinking pressure will be perfectly responding to where the ball is at all time.
Yes.
It's like the concept of like good deaths as well.
Yep.
It's just an edge. It's not like a important.
It's a big edge. That's
Yeah,
why we talk
large
about it,
edge, yes.
right? That's why we talk
Yeah,
about
and it's also like when we're playing games, you can immediately tell when someone can't sink pressure, and it's like, oh,
But we
my
see
Lord.
people in Master Tier who don't know how to sink pressure very effectively, and they're in Master Tier. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
My favorite fundamental: tempo, speed, tempo. I love tempo.
What do you mean by tempo? What's
Why do
the
you love,
definition
why
of
do you love tempo, Nathan?
That's my favorite part about the game.
What do you love about it?
I love knowing that in 30 seconds' time, I'm going to be faster to a play because I made a decision 30 seconds ago that has influenced that.
So you love the idea that you've done this little thing, you've jimmied it, and then you're going to be
camp or something.
you're going to have an advantage in the next play, and they're not even going to know what hit him.
Because tempo is so unintuitive to playing League of Legends. You want to be on the map with your character trying to kill people.
Yeah, because the common question
fun
is
thing.
to do what, right? Like, I've got tempo. You're telling me to get tempo to do what?
I think tempo has to go in low B.
Yeah, it's a very advanced,
Very advanced concept.
concept.
I think resets comes before tempo because they're usually kind of synced together, and resets
Yeah.
are usually what creates tempo, not always,
Yeah.
but usually.
So it would go below level up to gang execution.
Is it creating tempo
Is it
windows
even
or
in B?
leveraging tempo windows? Like
I think it's top of C.
top of C,
Yeah,
I
it's
can see
not
that
in
as
B.
well.
It's not in
What's
B.
more important as a jungler, tempo or ganking though? Isn't tempo way more important than ganking? Or again, am I thinking?
I swear to God, when I play jungle, I'm literally negative tempo the entire game.
Yeah, Curtis has played
Negative
jungle, gone to
tempo.
challenge. He has no idea about tempo, yeah.
Yeah, but Curtis has a very sophisticated knowledge of champions and is very.
Yeah,
good
I'm not
at
the greatest
video game.
example, but I just do say, like, I just think tempo, like, you can be fucking god awful at tempo. Like, if you just imagine you go through a game
Yeah.
and you say no to all the bad ganks and you hit your goddamn camps and you know how to fight. and tempo was never even a concept that was in your brain, could you climb to master tier? Yes, I would say so. Not even a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, again, though, there's a lot of ways to climb to master as a jungler.
Yeah, there is.
You can do a lot.
But let's say tempo for other roles.
It's definitely more important than ganking. Less important than ganking. Not even close.
Yes.
Right? So it has
Remember,
to be
ganking includes avoiding bad ganks.
Yes, exactly right. That's why ganking is more
why it's more
important.
Yes.
So it has to be either top of C or bottom of B.
It's top of...
Okay, what about like the concept of playing, the mindset of playing for tempo? Because if you're playing for tempo, it implies you're not playing for kills. That's why I like people thinking about the game through a tempo lens a lot of the time, is because it keeps them out of trouble again. I like the fundamentals that keep them out of trouble a lot of the time.
Yeah, they are.
And if I'm like taking my small tempo, reminds me of like small wins, keeping
yeah.
really good condition, making sure I'm high HP, like things like this.
But I think in that case, like sinking pressure is just a better version of that, no? Like sinking pressure would do more to keep them out of trouble than tempo. Because it's more practical and more tangible and just specific. Yeah. Tempo, I feel like, is too vague. People get very confused. Like, you're telling me to reset here for tempo, but in our mind, it's like, because we know that there's going to be an opportunity to do something else or get an additional wave or get an area first. Like,
I think we need to remove tempo from the list, I've decided.
No. I think it goes above roaming.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
It's below sinking pressure, because I agree, sinking pressure is just better.
Nah, it needs to be on there.
But it's so nebulous. Like when you said your example there, you used the word reset. Like that, the fundamental there is the reset, not the tempo.
Agreed. That's why it's way below resets.
Well, I just don't think it's actually a thing anymore, I've decided.
Charles 1 in 16.
So
you know why? It's because I keep trying to like fucking go for long shots. I'm trying to get no scopes off. And you guys are getting very clean.
Yeah. So just like this mind, like Charles is like ascended. You know.
Yeah, Nathan's obviously winning every round because he's doing the safest play.
Yeah.
He's doing the safest.
He's a
thing.
man of the people, Charles.
Yeah. Winston Churchill.
Yep, he's on the train.
Warding and vision control.
Obviously S tier. League of Legends is a game of warding and vision. We are sophisticated League of Legends players here. League of Legends is a strategic game, actually. It's much akin to chess, as we've all discussed on the podcast.
So Charles is just being sarcastic. That's clear sarcasm.
I'm joking again.
You fucking trolling.
No, honestly, I think genuinely this might be the least important fundamental in the entire game, even for support. Yep. I genuinely think it's bottom of D, worst fundamental in the game. I have literally, Nathan Watt invented the warding triangle, so maybe he should talk about this. But I couldn't give less of a fuck about this.
Communication, vision, control, setting up objectives.
It's just not important. I haven't bought a ward in years.
Yeah, control wards, people buy too many of them.
Well, warding assumes that people can look at the minimap, know how to make sense of the minimap, and use that information to change your. There's a lot that goes on to be able to use warding effectively.
Yeah.
And I would say that there are just way more bigger fish to fry.
It's definitely a 1%. I'm thinking about all my coaching sessions.
Yeah.
We're really barely talking
Vision
about this.
control. No, it's an X factor.
Yeah.
It's the worst fundamental in the whole game.
So
I'm trying to no scope the tier list.
No, but is it okay? So we're comparing this now with champion select and level 1. Yeah, you are right.
It's worse.
Champ select and level 1 is more significant than warding. Now, okay.
No,
I want to be
come on, it's higher than level 1.
Okay, because I'm just thinking practically in my coaching session. I talk a lot about warding and leaning. It is a huge part of.
But that's just jungle tracking, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's even just to be able to, because we're talking about. Okay, no, I'm talking about leaning actually, not warding. Yeah, that's the leaning aspect is huge.
That's just good laning. That's just occupying a pocket in the lane so you can freely hit the wave and trade.
But doing it safely without dying.
The ward enables that. But the act of placing the ward, do you give a fuck which side they do it? Do you care where they place the ward?
I mean, I care where they put it.
I think warding is important now, I've said it.
As a mid laner, I can say, and it is.
It's actually quite important.
It is important for lane.
Well, setting up objectives, like you can, that control ward in the side bush or control ward in like a baron, like that completely changes.
Warding in the mid game is fucking useless.
Yes, warding in the mid game is like in the lower elo brackets.
Slap your blue trinket somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe put a pink ward near the next spawning objective if you care.
It is important for higher elo brackets.
Yeah,
where it places control wards and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna have an edge.
I mean, I just look at like supports carrying the game through vision, right? But
again, it doesn't have to be that simple. I'd rather support that knows how to fight.
True.
That knows how to place the
True.
wards.
I think ward and vision control goes above communication.
Definitely above communication.
Yeah.
I failed.
Definitely above roaming. Definitely even above tempo. I mean, I'm just thinking tangibly, right? When I'm working with a silver League of Legends player, am I talking about tempo? No, I'm not talking about tempo. Am I talking about warning? Yes.
Yeah, I might tell them to ward at level 2 to not die to the bloody level 3
exactly
gank.
right.
Yeah.
So it is loaded, right? Because we're talking about warding and threat assessment / jungle. It's a lot going on there, right? But if without the ward, it does really prevent you from doing anything.
Yeah, but it's like, again, it's the bare minimum argument. It's like, just put your trinket down in the river somewhere at some point in time before pushing past the
And there
halfway
are
point.
players that do climb with very poor warding.
A lot.
A lot of players do. So it's definitely not D. Okay, we know
I
that
think
it's
it's
not
just
D.
role specific as well
It's very
for this one.
because I think in mid and bot lane it probably matters quite a bit, and depending on the champions involved. If there are ganking oriented junglers, it can be very important.
Why do you keep touching my list, Nathan?
So I slotted it in C tier, above tempo and below sinking
It's
pressure.
somewhere in there. It's a controversial one. It is. It's somewhere in that mix. I would tend to agree.
Charlie's 1 for 7. No, so we've done 20. So Charlie's 1 for 25.
Was that just champ mastery? No, I said knowledge of other champs belongs in S.
2 for 25.
Wave management.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Nathan knows about wave manager.
Wave management. I just keep referencing our case studies. So the Dante's episode, ADC, he was bashing the waves in every single time and just losing his mind. Dying to every gank, everything.
Yeah, but he was just a bit silly.
But that's what he was doing. He's bashing waves in. And people
Sure, if he
bash
did hold
in.
waves, it would have made a difference.
But if he knew his champ's identity of Draven running people down the long lane, you would automatically have good wave management there.
yeah, but that's not detracting from wave management being important, right? So
No, I'm the villain. But I think, wave management is important, obviously. I just don't think it's as important as people think it is.
So let's think about
in top lane, it's very important. I think it's very important.
How?
If you are constantly shoving waves under tower permanently,
Yeah.
you're not going to get very far on a lot of champions, are you?
Yeah, you kind of are. If you're shoving waves with intention, or if you're shoving waves to generate pressure and you're trading really well. If you go onto YouTube and you watch a lot of high elo, like I'm going to mention Korea. I know it's silly, but the Korea top laners in like Challenger, they're bashing their waves. A lot of the time, if you look at pro VODs, and maybe you relate to this looking from a mid lane perspective, if I look at an AD carry or a top laner pro VOD, they are spending a lot of time doing things with the wave that I wouldn't necessarily deem as the most consistent because they are valuing other things so much more. I would rather have incredibly good trades and bad wave management.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
you're
agree.
right. Yeah, for sure.
I don't disagree.
So it has to go below trading at least.
It's below S, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely below S.
I got to fight for every rank, Curtis. I got to fight for every rank.
Yeah, I agree.
But
If you think about the grand scheme of a game, though, wave management is only a very small portion of the game, right? We're just talking about the early game.
The first 8 minutes of the
first
game.
8 minutes of the game.
For the most part.
But as we established, one of my Nathan Mott principles all the time, the game's won in the mid game. Pushing waves, priority, it's the sinking pressure, all that is looking more important. But I think that because the early game is so important to the game, that still does bump wave management up.
You had sinking pressure in C.
Yeah, sinking pressure in C.
But you said sinking pressure is one of the most important parts of the game. You just said that.
No, I'm saying...
So if mid-game... Sorry,
mid-game.
I'm going to explode the list for a second here, but you just said mid-game is where the game is won and lost. Where are all the mid-game fundamentals? Where are they?
They are all in C tier.
Well, numbers advantage is in A.
Well, map awareness is in B.
Fighting is in A.
Yeah.
Numbers advantage, yeah. I mean,
Well, tempo.
well, that's what
water
mid game is
vision.
about. It's fighting, right? So for the most part.
Side laning's mid game.
Okay, so let's come back to that. But I think wave management is higher than mindset. Okay, I think it's higher than sinking pressure because we can't. If you're watching a silver AD carry, Charles, and they are permanently
Yeah.
hitting the wave
Yeah.
over and over and over and over again,
Yeah.
would you talk about that, or are you happy with that? You think it's fine?
Are they dying?
I don't know. Are they?
If they're not dying, then no.
Right.
they're silver.
So you don't
I don't
think
care.
you will never talk about wave management in silver?
If it's a problem, I'll talk about it. But if they're simply just shoving waves and they're playing a scaling champion and they're getting to the mid game and there's no issues and it's not exploding the game, then no.
So, okay, what happens if they're playing, a lane bully?
Yeah.
And they're permanently shoving waves?
Yeah. Are they taking plates? Are they taking good trades and doing that? If they are, then couldn't care less. That's the truth. And that might upset some people, but I don't care.
Okay.
That's just practically what I see. Is some champions, it is embedded in their identity to get the wave on their side of the lane.
But you're conflating two things, right? Someone can shove the wave because they are managing it. That is the way they're managing it. They're intentionally shoving the wave because that they believe that is their champion's strategy, right?
Yeah.
Versus someone who is shoving the wave because they don't know how to manage the wave. They're just clicking.
If there's no
button.
intention, if they're just single crashing
Because
every
we're talking
single
about wave
wave.
management. Wave management is the understanding of how to manage a wave, right?
Sure. Yeah, but there's a very big difference between someone like two-wave cycling compared to bashing every single minion from 100 HP to 0.
Like,
It's
I
obviously
just
a
think
problem.
practically when I'm talking to mid, it doesn't need to be, like you said, doesn't need to be sophisticated, but you do need to know in a lot of scenarios how to just hold the wave in neutral, bring it back to neutral. That's it.
Is it more important than level up timers?
I think it goes above resets, personally. I think it goes between map winners and resets because you can't reset without wave management.
Yeah, exactly right. If you don't know how to, yeah, exactly right.
So, yeah.
I mean, but
Is it more important than map awareness?
but is it more important than level up time is?
I think level up timers needs to be moved, I think.
Is that ruining the list for us?
It might be because I'm kind of using that as a bit of a baseline and I think it's actually pretty important.
Because if we think about level up timers, though, you can't use level up timers very well, though, if your wave management is cooked. If you're permanently shoving someone on a tower and you get level, congratulations, you get level 3 first, you get level 6 and they're under tower, then what the fuck are you going to do? Right? So that go hand in hand.
I think something that's happening as well, Curtis, is you keep using this example of pushing under tower as if that's by default a negative thing.
That's what people do, right? They just perma shove waves.
Yeah, but that can be good.
It can be.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm using perma shove waves is because if you don't know what to do with a wave, what are you going to do? You're going to probably shove the wave, right?
Yeah.
On default.
Yeah, you can. I do see a bit of the inverse as well, though, where people just don't play for shove. They don't
And they
value
get
that
shoved
push.
in. Yeah, true. They can't exactly, they don't know how to contest the wave. They get permanently shoved in. That's another problem.
Yeah.
Because they're not auto attacking the wave.
I'm very happy with where it is.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good as well. I actually wouldn't have thought it was that high going into this, but it actually is.
Yeah, it is high.
Win con assessment.
Lastly, win condition assessment, my favorite
This is the Nathan Mott special.
fundamental. This is what I pride myself on because I have no mechanics. I have no trading. I have no understanding of threat assessment and fighting. And
I don't think
matchup
you've got win
understanding.
con assessment, is there?
Yeah, these days we got to work on that. But win condition assessment is cool because remember I have the reverse win con. Remember?
The easy anti-jungler, the anti-villain of League of
anti-villains.
Legends. That's the joke, is Nathan will identify the win con and then actively play against it to bean boozle himself and everyone else.
The Joker.
He'll act against his own best interests.
Win condition assessment is a bit more of an advanced one. I mean, a lot of people climb without ever really thinking about win condition assessment. They just, because you got to focus on yourself and help yourself before you can help others, especially again, win condition assessment we talked about. Emerald, Diamond is when you want to start getting into that. But even then you can go really far even without really good sophisticated.
I think it's the
master
worst.
TR.
I think it's the worst one in the whole game.
So sad. I think no, it's not. I think
don't think it
I think
matters.
it goes above communication.
I think it goes above roaming.
Yeah, and above roaming. I agree.
I think it goes around here.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
And the reason being is because if you think about it, win con assessment embedded that is the simple act of it doesn't even have to be the basic element of win con assessment is my AD carry is strong. I want to fight around that dude. Or my top laner is 0-6. I want to stay away from that guy. That is still win con assessment, right? So if we're talking about it through that very basic lens, it actually is arguably even more important than tempo, in my opinion.
Well, isn't what you're describing there more just lull state usage?
No, I think win con assessment is being able to press tab, understanding who's fed and who's weak, and yeah.
And it's more important than warding vision control. It's bumping
is.
up and sinking pressure.
Yeah, it is.
You know what's like,
And
as I've lost credibility with the list,
silence.
Nathan's controlling it more.
it's more important than mindset and play with intensity.
In a way, it's probably even more important than neutral objectives, right? Because if you know who's fed and who's weak, that's going to carry you a lot.
Win con assessment has to be done before ganking, doesn't it? Because you need to know who to gank. It is.
No, it's bottom of B. It's bottom of B, I think. I think
Nathan can decide whether it goes above or below
Nathan,
ganking.
if you think about ganking, right? A jungler who knows how to say no to a bad gank. What's more important?
No to a bad gank.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
it's
correct,
there.
yeah.
It's bottom of B for sure.
Yeah, because you can bomb games with ganking. But yeah, win condition assessment. Yeah, you can.
The absolute basics. This guy's fed. This guy's weak. That's going to get you. We talk about that even in silver and gold, right? You got a 6-0 Darius. Fucking just fight around that guy.
Yeah. Wow, that rocketed up the list pretty quick.
Yeah.
My intuition is to always put something in S or D, so that's what I've learned today. Okay, what about farming and last sitting, Curtis? Is that still staring you in the eyes?
Farming and last.
No, well, remember we moved that down to A.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we moved it from S to A. We fixed it.
We I'm in a fugue state.
Yeah, that's good. So what do we think of it?
So it's interesting how many like shitty fundamentals see, like a lot of shitty fundamentals. Just like yeah. I mean, again, they're all important, and someone going to be there.
Did any of this surprise you?
Well, I think a lot of people will be surprised that this is the Broken by Concept podcast. We play with intensity and mindset in C tier. And I think that goes to show that we, as much as we talk about all this stuff, we're practitioners in the game. We're playing, we understand the game. It's sort of like how some people think like, especially esport coaches and stuff like that, coaches have huge influence like over the game, but the game itself, like the players, what they're doing, their decision making. At the end of the day, that does, supersede, a lot of the mindset stuff.
I want to move this down to B. It doesn't feel like it belongs there.
Jungle
that
tracking.
belongs with map awareness. Numbers advantage needs to be on its own tier. That makes me happier.
Yeah, I'm happy with that as well.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
BTR. So remember, that was jungle tracking our own jungler.
I think for me, the thing that's surprised me is resets and wave management and map awareness, like being in B. You would think that those three would be like very high up.
Well, I think the others are just overpowered.
Yeah, the other ones are like just very overpowered.
Well, Champ Mastery just has so many ones inside that one thing. That needs to be in Z tier, honestly. Knowledge of other champions is one that is on no one else's list, which goes completely under the radar and is just so fundamental. That might be the fundamental of fundamentals, honestly, because maybe it even goes top of the whole thing. Is it more important to know what all the other champs do more than it is to go deep on your own champion?
No, knowing your champion is first, because again, you need to jump into the rift and then know how that interacts. Your champion interacts with the other champions.
Think about this: if you have good champ mastery, you basically understand what all the other champs do. You know how to trade, and you know what to build. Rank 1
gets you very far.
You're pretty good.
because that's gonna give you a baseline level of everything else, right? Like threat assessment, fighting.
Yeah.
Everything else will come as a natural byproduct of that.
Yeah, if you do everything in S and A, you can get very far in League of Legends.
Very, very,
That's
very
a
far.
beautiful list. I love that little
Threat assessment, fighting,
S&A.
matchup understanding, farming, last sitting, and playing around numbers. Wow. That's a great list. That's a fantastic list.
We killed this.
Yeah.
I was a little bit nervous at the beginning, but this really came together.
I tried my best to ruin it.
Well, that's what me and Curtis are. We're keeping you in check, Charles.
No, but also it's good to have a villain of the show.
Yeah.
So we had 28 fundamentals. We removed one, so we had 27. And I think I wrote here Charles was 5 out of 27.
Was that really? So I need to fact check that, please. Someone from the Botland Academy who actually likes me. Can you fact check that, please?
So I want to talk about now. Yeah, let's summarize. How do we end this episode, guys? What do we think based off this list?
Yeah.
I think that fundamentals are awesome.
Are we happy? I mean, I just, the fact that it's so difficult for us as professional coaches to like, we're literally talking about and arguing over like where things should be and we're like sweating over it really is concerning to me. And it makes me feel like I just hate the terminology in the League of Legends educational space is really bad. We are, Nathan, you famously always say the Stone Ages of League of Legends. We really are in the Stone Ages. Like I just can't stand the terminology of fundamentals and think about this. It's like child's play, right? Because those terms are so loaded, right? They're so loaded. Half of them are so loaded.
So soccer has been around for 163 years, the modern game of soccer. And League of Legends has been around for
14.
14 years.
15 maybe. Maybe 15.
15.
We're in season 16, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Well, 2010 was the beta.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, no, was it 2009 the beta?
Anyway, so about a 10th of the time, that's why we're in the Stone Ages. We'll start developing like, what's the next part of the, the Stone Ages? Then what's after that?
The Bronze
usually?
Ages?
The Bronze Ages.
Is that next? I don't know.
Yeah, in the next like 10
Medieval
15 years,
era?
yeah. If we're saying that soccer is now in like the, the very modern era.
Yeah, and I think that in a way though, I feel like the longer we've played the game, it even gets harder and harder to have the conversation because so many concepts become assumed knowledge. You know what I mean? Like I think that simultaneously our knowledge of the game and teaching the game gets better, but we become further and further detached from what really is a fundamental of the game.
Yeah.
Like I'm even concerned now as we're making this, we might look back on this list in a few years from now and be like, what the hell? Like you guys are talking about, you forgot some other really, really basic things. Yeah. Like I still, a part of me feels like there's probably some elements that we are assuming that are rules of the game that are actually fundamental to the game. And we'll look back on that and think we're just idiots.
Yeah, like knowing your role or something about your role. One word I think I said while preparing this was pressure. The concept of pressure. Like, use chess as an example.
Here we go.
One of the fundamentals of chess is just like controlling the center of the board. That's what a lot of beginner players get taught. Just try and have control of the center. And you don't really need to understand what that means or the implications, but just the idea of controlling. So a fundamental of League of Legends, which Nathan talks about all the time, is like just getting the waves on the enemy side of the map. And just occupying territory.
All 3 waves, yes.
I think that because I think our list is bogus. Personally, obviously I don't think these actually are the fundamentals of the game. They're just concepts, like we said earlier. But we have to call them something, and it's a cool name that everyone else agrees with. So we also have to use the language of the world in which we live to like navigate it, which I think is fine. But like the idea of taking space on the map and like pressuring your opponent. That is a fundamental of a MOBA.
It's interesting because when we think about these fundamentals, a lot of the time you don't learn them directly, right? If we think about like threat assessment, you don't just like, a lot of the time threat assessment will come as a byproduct of just like playing that champion.
I like that take, yeah.
Or trading. You don't have to work on trading explicitly for the majority of your journey, right? If you play a lot of League of Legends, you fuck around with a lot of different champions, you kind of have okay trading. Is it going to be amazing? Can you refine it? Yes. But it's interesting because if you think about the fundamentals of other sports, you do have to isolate and you drill them, right? You do exercises to learn the fundamentals of the game.
The drilling, all the coaching that we do is typically actually in B and C. Maybe numbers advantage in A.
They're easier to isolate.
Yeah, S and A is like a lot of like, I think that's actually showing
maybe
how bulletproof our tier list is here because we're saying that the most important ones are things that you just pick up naturally, intuitively. With reps.
And you can streamline that process. There are things you can do to streamline that process when you're reviewing things, but you will get a lot of those via reps, right? Whereas the C and B, you may not actually get with reps, right? C especially.
Absolutely.
You could play thousands and thousands and thousands of games, and that doesn't mean you may never, ever, ever think of tempo, right? You may never think of sinking pressure. You may never think of how do I navigate the side lane.
Never buy a ward.
Yeah.
Never buy a control ward.
Never know how to think about vision.
Part of this makes me think that maybe traditional sports are the ones in the Stone Ages doing their little silly drills. Maybe they should just play practice matches the whole time. What would happen if the Broken by Concept podcast became the next Joe Rogan experience and we bought a team?
A soccer team?
Yeah, sure. In the Premier League, why not? Let's say we bought Man City. And we said, fuck drills. Positional coaches, you're gone. We're just playing matches.
It's like spam
matches. We're gonna get a dual roster. Right. We're gonna get 2 rosters of
everyone's solo queue.
And we're just gonna scrim. We're just gonna play games against each other. Yeah. What would happen? Would they be a better team? Are we ever, because like when you're saying like soccer's like 163 years old or football, what have you, and they've perfected the art of improving it and they just get it so correct. Yeah, they do all these drills and they tie their shoelaces and stuff, right? Why can't that be done in League of Legends? If we can't figure that out in League of Legends, then who can? And why does more years of the game being out equate to that being correct? I'm pretty much sure I can confidently say that drilling in League of Legends would blow. I don't think you can isolate skills in League of Legends that much.
I don't know. I just think that there is something to be said about time and a lot of people focusing on something. And I think if a sport has been around for a long time and a lot of people have been putting time towards it,
Yeah.
chances are they figured things out. And
But with that said, though, because of the nature of video games, there has been more League of Legends games played than soccer games of all time.
for sure.
Bam.
I think probably even in probably 10 days,
Yeah.
there's millions and millions. You can't physically get that many soccer games played, right?
True.
So there actually is we've sped everything up. So maybe you're onto something there, Charles.
Yeah, maybe I need to.
But maybe
step out of my domain.
no, but maybe the game, because of the nature of the game, because the games are harder to play, and you know what I mean. You can't just play mass reps of soccer. You just get fucking tired after the first game, right? You have no choice but to isolate as a byproduct of the physical element of the sport. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that could be a factor.
So I think you got to remember the context of the way you learn a sport is also has to factor in the physical nature of what it means to practice. In what environment are you practicing it? How do you practice that sport?
Yeah.
So I think with League, it's just this weird thing, or gaming in general is this weird thing where you use your mind. There is a physical element, right? We use energy and there's whatever, but it's not nearly to the same degree as you don't have to go to a soccer field and sprint and use all of your energy, right? You're limited by your carbohydrate intake and your energy levels, right? That's how much you run.
yeah.
So I just think I would just assume my baseline assumption would be they figured their shit out for a reason, right? So I'm going to rein you back in, Giles.
I disagree. Complete disagree.
We have to add that to another one. So 5 out of 28. Back to 28 of takes. He's been 5 out of 28.
It's because your takes are so tame. It's just Curtis' takes just then was they've probably figured it out.
because they've been around
they
for longer.
probably have.
How lazy is that take?
Such a boring take.
All right,
as
let's
well.
start wrapping up this episode.
ridiculous.
We're getting out of control.
I'm going to war with everyone.
I'm trying to defend you, Charles, in the comment. People are going to say you're going to teach better. You're going to buy Man City and you're going to coach better than
Maybe I
the
will.
coach of Man City. Bullshit. I'm
gonna
trying to defend you,
I'm going to
Charles.
bring a fresh perspective. They're stuck in the
right.
Stone Ages.
All right, we'll see.
Good work, guys. This has been another Broken by Concept podcast, the #1 solo queue educational and motivational podcast. We'll see you guys on our next episode.